Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic. Let's see if we can change the sound here. A very interesting topic. I'm going live at a different time here, so it might be less people, but let's just get into it. The fastest way to get your ex back. This is actually a really interesting topic because a lot of people don't want to do no contact. They don't want to wait. They don't want to heal. They don't want to take that painful time to actually get in a place where they feel really good. Again, it takes actual time. So anyone that comes on deck today, welcome. I'm going to go through this topic for a few minutes here and just kind of riff a little bit, as some people would say. And anyone that has to make a comment about this or a suggestion, the fastest way to get your ex back. It's a bit of a trick question in my book because you are sacrificing something by going all in on the fastest way to get your ex back. For example, if you were going to ask the doctor, what would be the fastest way to heal my separated shoulder? The doctor might say, really, there isn't many ways that are faster that are good for you, right? But let's just take some shots at this. Number one that comes to mind, and I just came off the cuff. I didn't do a lot of deep research on this. This isn't what statistics suggest. So if you have something else in mind, please share. That's what's great about the live stream. Make them jealous. This particularly applies to exes that can be insecure. Probably people that are in their 20s or late 20s. First relationships are more apt to be jealous. So I would say that this would actually work better in those situations. Do I recommend this? No, I think it's I don't think it's a long-term fix of getting back together. It's one of those things too, whenever you're looking into the fastest way to get back together, you really have to think to yourself, do I want to be with this person? That's why you need to write your story out and get it to someone like myself or another coach out there. But I digress. Let's get back on topic. The fastest way to get your ex, make them jealous, would be probably number one. And you know your ex better than I do, but there's a lot of creative ways to do this. And I remember I had a friend this might be 6 or 8 years ago, in that range. It was a while ago. And they were a couple. They were hot and heavy. They were very passionate couple, but they broke up a lot. They had a lot of petty reasons to break up. Both of them were a little bit selfish, including my friend, which was probably more selfish. But anyhow, finally they broke up. He would mess around when they would break up during these times, and she would be chasing him. And guess what happened? She decided that she was going to use a little social media, play a video, and post when some guy had been sleeping at her house and was getting into the shower, had the towel and everything. And he went fucking nuts. He was upset. It got back to some mutual friends, that had social media. And I don't know if she crossed the line, but they got back together real quick. And he was affected. He was hurt. And I think he got a little bit of a taste of his own medicine at a stronger dose. So he had been doing some shady things when they broke up. Being that you're broken up, there's a gray area there that you can hook up with someone else. But if you keep doing that over and over again, what does that say about your relationship or your character if you're going to get back together? Yes, they are still together. I'll circle back to that. Good question. They actually got married. They actually got married and then broke up and then got back together, but they're pretty much official now. But it worked. She was always chasing him. She gave him a dose of his own medicine, is what I would call it. And it spun him for a minute, and they definitely got back together, and they were hot and heavy. So that in that case, it worked. Use social media as a weapon. I would say you'd be using social media as a weapon in the sense of making them jealous, posting leading pictures or leading videos that would, or just direct things that you're with someone else. I think a lot of times if you just take a picture with the opposite sex and they're cute, it will get your ex's attention. I'll come back to that, Sabina, in a minute. I'll come back to that in a moment. I'll address that. But good question. Ask their friend out for a drink. Another jealousy tactic that I think is pretty low, but people do it. Especially, I think that men, and correct me if I'm wrong out there, and if anyone watches this live stream after, please put it in the comments below. I think that men have much more of a feeling of possessiveness with their ex, or a feeling of if they hooked up with someone else, that'll really upset them. They're more apt to get jealous openly and run back and get back together. I could be wrong on this. And women will tend to be a little bit more, I can't believe he did that, and maybe more hurt by it. But these can work both ways. Move somewhere with a purpose. I think this is actually something, if you've been thinking about a move, and when I say somewhere with a purpose, like you have a job in place, or you're moving for a school or an education, you're not just moving because you think it would be cool, or you're running away from your ex. You're like, no, I really have always wanted to move to Atlanta, and there's a job out there that I could probably apply for and get something like that. I've had a client in the past that was kind of on the fence. I go, this is the time to do it. And what you do when you move somewhere with a purpose is you automatically reset the computer without even trying, because you have to learn new places to eat, new places to go, and new responsibilities. And it really helps you get rid of those triggers that make you miss your ex. And basically your ex is a habit. It's a good habit, I hope. You see them every day, you get love from them, and the trigger is when you walk in the door, you can talk about your day. The trigger is when you go to bed at night, you have someone sleeping next to you that makes you secure and happy and loved. And when that's taken away, it's just like an addict with a cigarette or a drink or anything else you're addicted to, a baby to its blanket, you go nuts. And if you change the environment, that trigger isn't as powerful. Go into the military, just a random thought. I've heard of people doing this before, because that is moving and going to a new environment with a serious purpose in place. And I'm sure you'll be hurting while you're in the military, but you'll also be on a routine. You'll be on a schedule. You'll have a mission. You'll have a goal. You'll have a finish line that's outside of your ex. Am I recommending you do this? Not necessarily, but I'm saying, would it be a faster way to get over your ex? Probably. Maybe if someone has an experience with that, maybe I'm wrong. Get a job on a cruise ship, because again, you're off the grid. You're away from your ex. You're doing new things. You're traveling to new places. And this is a common job for a lot of people that like to travel and do things. But I'm saying, wouldn't that be cool for 6 months to travel 40 different ports? And maybe you got to, serve drinks or do something you don't really like. But I'm sure that would get your mind off things, because you'd be meeting so many new people. Travel for 6 months, travel for 1 year, travel for 3 months. I'm not talking about a 2 week or a 1 week. I'm talking about an eat, pray, love mission. And the eat, pray, love story, correct me if I'm wrong, blossomed from a breakup. Peace Corps. Again, you got a finish line. You got something you got to join for 2 years. You're getting away from home. You're traveling. And finally, the infamous rebound. Dun, dun, dun. The rebound. So why do people get in a rebound? Because it's a replacement for the moment. It's exciting. It's something new, and it gets your mind off your ex for the moment. Does it work out? Well, a lot of people seem to think it doesn't, but there are times that it does work. Okay, so Sabina says she is the boss in that relationship, right? I wouldn't necessarily say so. I think that in that particular relationship, it's flip-flopped. She basically turned the tables on him. And in that particular situation, when she used social media and she took a picture of, I don't know if she was dating the guy. I don't know if the guy was a prop. I don't know what was going on. But once this friend of mine saw that she posted in a video the guy getting into the shower and coming out, I don't know. I didn't see the exact video. I can't remember it, but I remember what it was about, and it was very brief, and it floored him. I mean, they got back together pretty quick, and he was pretty upset by it. And he's an ego guy, and it was an ego deflating thing. And since that time, they have broken up once or twice in between, because that's what they tend to do, because that's how their relationship started. But they're still together. They're still together. I always assume no contact is the fastest way to get your ex back. I think it's how should I say this? The healthiest way to get your ex back. So obviously a lot of breakup coaches or myself are going to talk about no contact. I think if you're talking about different breakups, different situations, it's probably the most universal healthy thing to do, because you're not using ill-intentioned tactics. You're not using trickery. And you're not trying to hurt your ex into coming back. So that's why I think no contact, staying neutral, staying stoic, staying indifferent is always good. When I say the fastest way, well, you're cutting a corner, right? With no contact, it's not the fastest way. It's the cleanest and healthiest way. And what I mean by that, it's if you get right back together, that doesn't, the fastest way to get back with your ex doesn't mean it's the best thing for you. Doesn't mean you're going to break up just as quick as you got back together. Does that make sense? So these ideas here, I'm not suggesting that you make them jealous. I'm just saying that if you were going to go that route, obviously that would probably be one of them if your ex is insecure, and it plays on emotions and it plays on hurt. And people react to that quick. With no contact, it's building, it's building, it's building, it's building, it's building, it's building. And if you get back right after no contact, imagine waiting for years, no contact. Well, that's the whole thing, Sabina. You shouldn't be waiting. You should start out in no contact, and you should start out in no contact for yourself. And if they come back, it's a bonus, right? Keisha Shaw, do you handle a long distance relationship differently? Do you handle a long distance relationship differently in regards to the fastest way to get them back? Can you elaborate on your situation or your question? Maybe give a little bit more details. Thanks, Keisha. Yeah, I think if someone's using no contact and they've gotten to a year or 2 years, they have to take some serious inventory on their life and what they're doing and how attached they are to this ex, and possibly talk to someone like myself or talk to a therapist. Because when you get to a year and 2 years and you're using that as a tactic or a sole tactic to get them back, that's not the ideal place to be in. No contact in the beginning is for you to heal and get to a place of where you're at neutral ground, and then you grow and you realize, hey, I want to improve this in my life and I want to do this. Sabina, have you known anyone or been in a situation where you were in no contact waiting for years or waiting for a long period of time? Because I know in my own experience, the time that I use no contact for a long period of time, I agree, Mac, more than 1 year is long. It is. And you know what? Let me tell you, if there's someone out there and they're like, oh my God, I've been in a year. If I don't know your particular story and what happened, the twists and turns, maybe you have reason. Maybe you were with someone for 20 years. Maybe you have some reasons. I don't know. But 1 year, and what I mean by that is you're saying waiting. You're using no contact as an ends, as a means to an end to get them back. And what you want no contact to do is just to heal. Because every time you talk to that person, you reopen the wound. You either feel like you're going to get back together, or you feel like, oh, this is the worst thing I ever did. And you keep staying in that gray area and you just don't fucking move forward. I know a few people who are always talking about ex and hoping they will come back. They are single still. I mean, are you saying like 1 year, 2 years, saying 3 years? I think you could definitely be attached. I know that in my past, I haven't, depending on where you're at in your life is what I think. You can look at times in your life and you can go, wow, if I had that person now, I would be in such a better place. More than 2 years at least. Wow. Okay. Who is that person in relationship to this problem, Sabina? So where are they at in life? Are they at a life where they're happy with a lot of other things like their job, their family, their friends, their professional career, their money? Because usually if someone's waiting for someone else, they're waiting for someone to rescue them. If someone's in a really good place with their family and friends, they've got a job that they like, they don't even necessarily need to be rich, but they feel secure and happy, they usually won't tend to cling to the past as much or someone to come back around. It's usually in relation to where they are right now. Yes, we are in different states. We are in no contact now, but we only see one another every 3 to 6 months. I'm debating moving closer. Okay, so interesting case, Keisha Shaw. Keisha or Keisha? I would say Keisha, I'm going to guess. If the distance was the problem, well, then certainly by living in the same community, area, or town could make the difference. I've been in a situation, I was in a long distance relationship for, I don't know, 2 months. We had a really good relationship for over a year. I moved away. Those 2 months, the relationship started to deteriorate based on time zone differences, based on long distance. We broke up. I was in no contact for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then I said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to go back to the town. I'm not going to go there with roses. I'm not going to go there and confess my love. I want to just be in each other's presence. I want to talk to her. I want to see what she's like, because presence is lacking in a long distance relationship. And it doesn't guarantee that you'll get back together. But if that's the problem, you sit down, you guys have lunch, you're with each other, and you immediately both melt or you feel something, then you can rekindle that, because that's the primary problem. But if you still don't plan on moving back, the problem's still bubbling up again and again and again and again. So yeah, the fastest way maybe to get together in a long distance breakup would be to move over to the same town, if that's the primary reason, or the vicinity of that area. Does that answer your question, Keisha? I somehow healed quickly after my breakup, and only took me like a few days, and then I was fully over. I was going to ask out some other girls at school, but they changed. Okay. They are apparently happy, but people can fake it to friends. What is a real situation? Well, if it's your friend, you probably know better than I do. People absolutely can fake it, right? And it's not our jobs to figure out if they're faking it. Thank you. That helps. Okay. And saying that, if there's some outside problems in that situation, Keisha, beyond just the long distance, then just being in each other's presence might not make that. Also, I would add, though, a long distance relationship, you guys have built a relationship on missing each other. But long distance relationships, just like long term and other relationships, they vary. There's a lot of people that go, we talked every night for 3 or 4 hours, but saw each other once every 5 months. So what kind of relationship did you build? It's more of a friendship and support thing, because at the end of the day, as an adult, when you get in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, 50s, whatever, you still want contact, physical, emotional contact. And that's what's lacking in long distance. And at some point, there's a shelf life, there's an expiration date. Someone meets someone else, someone gets interested in someone else, or someone just gets sick of the distance. And that's usually the case. So this is an interesting time. Got 6 people on deck here. I usually don't come on at this time, but I'm always trying something new. And for some of these people in Europe, I think this is a better time for you, some of the other time zones than just the States. So I thought I would try something different and hopefully appease some of you out there that haven't come on the live streams. Come on, people, ask questions. Thanks, Sabina. That's Italy's finest, huh? Italiano. So let's think if there's any other ways for the fastest way to get your ex back. Is there anything else creative? Sabina, has there been a way in the past for you that you feel like you've gotten an ex back? And was that fast or not fast? Just out of curiosity. And what's your take, if you're from Italy, what's your take on, this is off topic a little bit, Italian relationships or Italian men? Are they different than most? Yes, you got your ex back fast. Okay, so can you tell me how you got your ex back fast? Maybe share this and I'll read it. You obviously came across my channel or work because of a breakup. So, and let's ask the question out there, if you guys can, is it a good thing to get your ex back fast? Are you trading the fact that you're lonely, you're upset, you're sad, and you're missing someone for the idea that you do have problems that need to be fixed that aren't being fixed by getting back together really fast? Okay. That's fine. Well, you live in Italy now. It seems like a nice place. I've never been there, but I love the food. Believe me, people are the same everywhere. Okay, humans are humans. Humans are humans. That's a good way to put it. People are the same everywhere. I'd say cultures are a little bit different, but there's some human traits that are quite similar and quite the same. Not much difference between Italians and others. Okay, fair play. Fair play. Fair play. I'm thinking back if in my particular case of my own life, food is very good. I love Italian food. Mexican's my favorite food though. I would say Mexican's number one for sure. In my own life, getting back an ex right away, I would say that one case where I was in a long distance relationship, and I've had another case where basically we broke up. It was dramatic, but I was indifferent about getting back together, if that makes sense. So in the sense that when we got back together, I think it was about 2 weeks later, I had no expectations of like, oh, please take me back. I was like, you know what? We haven't been getting along. We've split up. She was staying in a different area at the time. She was in a training. And I went, you know what? I'm going to come out there for a visit. I came out for a visit and I had no expectations. I just wanted to see where things would go. And we reconnected in that way. And so that's the best place to be, is to be in a place where you don't have high expectations and you're okay either way. That's a strong position. Well, I'm 46, he's 51. We are running out of time. I want him now. Well, urgency and force will not help the situation. Okay. The fact that you feel like you're running out of time is frantic. It puts pressure on the situation. It puts pressure on him. And I don't know if that fixes the problem that you guys are in long distance. Does that make sense? The idea that you feel like that we are running out of time. First of all, you feel that way. Wanting him now and feeling that way is going to really upset you and put you in an emotional state that's unhappy. It's like a kid that wants their toy right now, or someone else. You know, being urgent and forceful like that does not make the relationship work again. It creates a dynamic where you talk to him. He doesn't say what you want him to say. He doesn't act the way you want him to act. He doesn't say, I want you to come see me. And you go nuts because you're in a state where you're like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm running out of time here. You don't understand. And he's like, correct me if I'm wrong. Does he feel like he's running out of time? But then at the end, left X, wasn't interesting, wasn't going anywhere. He hardly made personal growth. Well, that's a good reason, Sabina. Wasn't interesting, wasn't going anywhere. He hardly made personal growth. What's the definition of personal growth? Like self-improvement? Obviously, when you break up, I've noticed in my own life too, is when you first get together, you might not be equal, but you're close to equal, right? Maybe financially, maybe job wise, maybe university wise. And a lot of times with university students or people, in their early 20s finding themselves and a year or 2 years later, like, what the hell happened? Well, you guys just grew in different directions, or someone grew a lot in 1 year and the other person feels like they were left behind. And then there's this contempt that someone left without them. So that happens a lot. I basically wanted my ex back because I missed her and I wanted to sort things out between us. Hopefully we could be friends again. Well, that's good. I mean, and hopefully we could be friends again. I wanted to sort things out between us. Okay. I mean, that's an interesting and simple thing, that you just want your ex back because you miss them, when in reality, the breakup is much bigger than just missing and feeling lonely. There's problems there. There's fragments. There's things clogging the relationship, and there's a reason why you broke up. To get back together because you missed each other. If missing someone enables you to realize that they actually were a better catch that you didn't realize, then that's a good thing. But if you just miss them in the moment and get back together, I don't know. Self-improvement, wish travel more, see the world more, enjoy life. Well, those are all good things. and you can do those on your own. What's nice is once you're single, you don't have to negotiate where to go and what to do. So the silver lining of being single again, and if you like to travel and maybe do those things, is you can go, I've always wanted to travel to Brazil, or I've always wanted to travel here, and my ex would never be interested in such a place. And so immediately you can go into, all right, I can make that real now, right? Start writing those things down. Sabina, I've seen you on the live stream a few times. I appreciate your contributions and your questions. And how long have you been broken up? I'm not sure if you sent me your story already. I might have asked you this before. Let's see here. I think it'd be pretty cool to get a job on a cruise ship. I mean, those are the kind of things that people, when they're in a breakup, how should I say this? They're so obsessed with getting back with their ex, or they're so obsessed with being hurt or angry, or they're so obsessed with what their ex did to them or what was done wrong to them. But if they took a moment when they start to accept the breakup and they start to hurt, this isn't like, when you accept the breakup, it doesn't mean you're going to start just feeling better. It means you actually feel a little bit worse at first because you're like, this is fucking real. But when you open up your mind to the possibilities of being single, and I don't just mean being single and meeting someone else, I mean the idea that you now have the option to do whatever the fuck you want without negotiating with someone, without saying, yeah, I think I want to go to Italy this summer. And your ex is like, no, I'd rather go to Oklahoma to see my grandma, right? Now that you're single, like the cruise ship idea, someone might go, oh, that's a really good idea. The reason you didn't come up with that idea is because you're not in a mode that's looking for options. You're in a victim state. With that ex over 4 years, finished all connections with them, physical, emotional. I'm over that. Now I have a new person in my life since last summer. Well, congratulations. Thanks for joining a breakup live stream with myself. I take it as a compliment. I assume you're doing pretty well with that person right now. 4 years is a long time. I talk about that a lot. 4 years is usually that turning point where someone goes, we're either getting better or we're getting worse or we're stuck in fucking neutral. And I say like 4 years is a point for a lot of people, just like universities, the 4 years where you usually graduate. 4 years is where you graduate high school, at least in the States. 4 years is a very common time where people go, what's next? And if you're not getting married, you're not getting a house together, you're not buying a dog, you're not doing something to grow together, you're not starting to share a bank account, I think 4 years, 5 years, maybe 3.5 is a very common time in a long-term relationship for people to take inventory and go, do I want to do this long-term? Do I see myself with this person for 10 years? And what happens when you're in 4 years, people get in a groove. They get in a set of habits. They get in a comfort zone, especially men, right? If they're with an attractive woman that they're really happy with, they tend to go, you know what? I don't need to go to the gym. I'll have a pizza and a 6-pack of beer this weekend and hang out with the buddies. We don't need to go on that bike ride on the weekend this weekend. I want to watch my football, right? Because I know we're hooking up. They feel like they already caught the big fish and they don't need to fish anymore. And they start slacking in the relationship. But I think it's actually deeper than that. And I'll tell you the truth. I've been guilty of this in relationships in my 20s where I got really comfortable and stopped growing a bit. Not to the sense where I was, some kind of degenerate or someone that just didn't care about my appearance or anything like that. But more or less comfortable, really comfortable, and just taking advantage of that. Like, I got a good looking girlfriend. We're really happy together. We're this. But I think what bothered that particular relationship that I had is I wasn't challenging myself individually enough in my career and my job. And I wasn't really happy with that job, but I was settling for it. And I think that is the root of being boring and comfortable and then not wanting to go for bike rides or not wanting to go out to dinner and go dancing and not wanting to make the relationship more fun, because it's about momentum. Okay. And you can have momentum go forward or backwards. Keisha Shaw, good stuff. This is a good time. I'm in Atlanta getting ready for work. Wow, it must be really early that you're getting up in Atlanta. I would say it's like 5 a.m. close to 5 a.m. I mentioned Atlanta today. Isn't that funny? That's a synchronicity. Randomly, I don't know if you heard me say like, oh, earlier in the live stream, maybe I'll move to Atlanta. Isn't that random? That's a synchronicity right there. The reason I was thinking that, I had a client recently that was in South Carolina, and he was talking about moving to ATL, Atlanta, home of Coca-Cola. And I've had another client that was actually from Dubai that moved over there for business. So that was just in my head. So that's kind of random. 7 people on, one of you are in Atlanta, and I mentioned it. I never have before. Psychic abilities, right? Atlanta seems like a really cool city. I wanted to be friends with her because I enjoyed her company, but I wanted to sort out some stuff between us first. We kind of had a few fights almost before the breakup. Well, those are good rings. The ex was a narcissist, and we had LDR too. Well, that's a double whammy. This is really interesting, and I've talked about this before, and I've had some recent research on the narcissist title, and people use this statement or title for exes a lot. And I always thought, well, they're just selfish people, but it's deeper than that. I think a narcissist, it's always about them, and they're very good at entangling you and making you feel guilty, making you feel uncomfortable, and making you feel like you did something wrong when actually they're doing something wrong. They're very good at shedding the blame on you. And so those kind of relationships can be draining. They can be exhausting. And you can have a relationship with someone that's a narcissist, that's a friend or a business colleague, and they do the same thing. It's really hard to shake them. And long distance relationship for 4 years, that's tough regardless. That's going to wear on you. If you have confidence, if you feel good about yourself, at some point wow, he told you he's a narcissist. I had no idea about that till then. Wow. Okay, so he's proud of it. There's a really good Psychology in Seattle, which is a YouTube channel. They do a set of questions about that, and I thought it was really good. It was really interesting. And the one that stood out to me, I don't know if I've already talked about this, Sabina, so you've been on live streams before, and this has come up. But one of the things that stood out to me is when a narcissist calls you to hang out or text you, you get scared or nervous in some ways because you know that it's not going to be smooth. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I have a friend like that it's not like I hate the person or anything like that, but there's going to be something that's going to be about them, that you're going to be accommodating them, and you're going to, okay. So I thought that was interesting, though, that's a sign that you're dealing with a narcissistic person, is they make you feel uncomfortable when they call you or send you a message, and you almost are like, like, oh shit. Or at the end of the message, they always have to add their struggle or their victory. It's like they're either a victim or they're a fucking hero. There's not a whole lot in between. And to me, that gets exhausting. They're usually not very good listeners. Dylan, this brings memories with this ex. I tried everything by textbook. It's not possible to make it work, which only one person wants to move mountains. This brings memory with this ex. I tried everything by textbook. It's not possible to make it work when only one person wants to move mountains. Yeah, you got to be met halfway. This comes up a lot in live coaching sessions. People will be talking about what they did. I did this. I did this. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. They didn't do this. It's like, well, if they're not going to meet you halfway, at least on some things or some important things, then what kind of relationship do you have? And you have to really take inventory, unpack it, and go, wait a minute. Did they even meet me halfway? No, they just told me no. Was I being reasonable in my request or what I was asking to do? Are you still friends with your narcissistic friend? It's a good question. I'm not sure at this point. We've had a falling out, and I'm in a neutral place right now. I'm in my corner. And I'm at a place in my life now that someone could say something that hurts me or upsets me, I could take a step back and go, you know what? That's not really true. Let it go, not react, and not get in a place where you're debating with someone that you know you're never going to agree with. And it's basically like crabs in a bucket. They keep pulling you down. So at this particular point, that person I'm on a neutral basis with. I wouldn't say that we're really friends as it is right now, but I'm not holding any ill will or going out of my way. But I don't really want to hang out. So I guess there's your answer. That's my nice way of putting it, I guess. It's interesting doing this too, because sometimes you talk to some people, especially guys, right? Because you have this beta and you have this masculine thing. And we have Keisha on here and we have Sabina, so we have two females. And it's really interesting to get your take, because this comes up a lot, right, on YouTube for guys, this masculine, feminine, or this masculine and beta. I guess so. On my grown man shit, I guess so. Yeah. I guess a part of me, that particular person that I was thinking about, it's pretty fresh what just happened. So I had to take a moment to sit back and think about it. But yes. What's up, Jesse? JC, Mr. Chapman. I cleaned all the narcissists from my life, cut friends with that victim behavior, acting toxic, energy vapors. You know what? Yeah, I'm at a point now. I don't feel like I have a lot of them. And this particular situation was different in a lot of ways. Yes, alpha and beta. I mean, where I was going with this was maybe Keisha and Sabina, since we have a nice little small intimate group of 7 here, and you guys are quite active, which I appreciate. What do you guys think about this? Do you think it's okay that a guy can be too nice, or do you identify men and I'm sure you don't say, oh, this guy's beta, but do you just think like this guy is just too weak or not masculine enough or not manly enough? Do you identify that really, really quick, or do you have some openness towards a guy being a little bit nice? Because I've had a few clients recently, and I'm talking to them, and I'm just like, have you been called too nice before? Because you're just overly nice. Well, yeah, a couple times. Of course, needs to be nice. But is it okay? Let me reframe that question. I'm sorry, I'm not clear. Is there such thing as a guy being too nice or extremely nice? You're attracted to him, and it's unattractive that he's so nice and so agreeable. Aloha mail. What the fuck does that mean? Eddie Braun. I like the name. Eddie Braun. Welcome, Eddie Braun. What's an aloha mail? I mean, I got family that's Polynesian, actually, so I've been to Hawaii a couple times, but what does that mean? Cheers, Eddie. Aloha male means alpha, huh? I've never heard that as a, okay, this is what, okay. I though from Hawaii. You're from Hawaii? You're Polynesian? Oh, you thought it was from Hawaii. I thought from Hawaii. Yeah, I was going to say aloha male, meaning a Polynesian. That's a really good point, Sabina. A beta is a guy without a critical opinion. I've actually had friends, guy friends, and I was talking to other friends about it later on. I'm just like, yeah, so-and-so is really, really nice guy, but like I would really like him to fucking disagree once in a while. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really healthy as an individual to have your own fucking opinion. So that was a complete mistake. Here I am like, oh, is this one of those new terms, aloha male? Is this like a super alpha? That's pretty funny. That's what's funny about doing live stream and doing the typing. to an alpha male. So Keisha, what's the definition of an alpha male? I like that Sabina said beta is a guy without a critical opinion. So it's much deeper than just being too nice. I think that's true. A lot of times you guys get caught too nice guy. If you let me drive over him, he is still nice without saying anything. If he let me drive over him, what do you mean by drive over him? Maybe that's not translating to me well. He's still nice without not saying anything. That's funny, the aloha male. I think that's a good way to base it though, without having a critical opinion, because sometimes when I talk to some individuals in the live coaching, that is one thing where they're constantly saying, well, to their ex or their past partner, well, did you want to do this, or did you want to try this, or did you want to try that? Instead of going, you know what, that's unacceptable. I just don't agree with that. I definitely think you do have to have an opinion about things. And if you're a knowledgeable person, you have an opinion based on having some kind of knowledge or morals or values. And if you're constantly going, well, what's yours? What's yours first? It just doesn't work. I use him as a toy for anything. Use him as a toy. So are you admitting that you use some men sometimes? I've always found this interesting that I feel like women tend to brag, not all, I could be wrong, that when a guy is being too nice. No? Okay. The older I get, I'm leaning towards the nice guy. Alpha means he leads. Alpha means he leads. Okay, so alpha means he leads. So simply put, have an opinion and lead. Has there ever been a case, though? Because, narcissistic people tend to lead. They tell you what they want to do all the time. Is there a line where a guy could try to lead you too much? That's a good question. But, that's alpha male 101 is to lead, right? No. I'm going to have to remember this aloha male. Maybe we should just start making this. Oh, are you alpha or are you an aloha male? When a guy is just there as a Barbie. Ooh. Can you identify that, Sabina, immediately? Can you, in other words, you go out on one date and you're like, oh, shit. Right? Guy who leads and a guy who has an opinion. Love that aloha expression. That is funny, right? I'm going to oh, is he aloha male? See, what does that mean? Oh, it means extra alpha. Huh? I got it from Keisha Shaw and ATL. Eddie Braun, you got any questions, my friend? I haven't seen you on the live chats. This is a different time than I usually have. Go ahead and shoot something my way if you like. What are you up to? 40 minutes? Okay. This is good. I'm glad some other people got to chime in today. Fastest way to get your ex back? Any opinions, any thoughts, anything random, anything that I didn't mention, make them jealous, use social media as a weapon, ask their friend out for a drink, move somewhere with a purpose, go into the military, get a job on a cruise ship, travel for 6 months, join the Peace Corps, or the infamous find a rebound. What would you pick? Are they all shit? Are you up for the long-term healing? Keep missing you. I'm cracking up over here. Keisha, you invented aloha male. You have that. That's yours. Fucking trademark it. Put the legal work in the States, okay? Make a book out of it. Okay, we have alpha male and we have the aloha male. What the fuck's this aloha male shit? Can I get the handbook on this? Classic, hun. I got my ex back. Eddie Braun got his ex back? Oh, shit. 3 years ago. All right, Eddie, let's hear the story. Jump on in. We got a small, intimate crew. I'll write you, Mac. Good story. Happily single now. Definitely write me. Definitely write me, my friend. You doing all right now, Eddie? Have you been watching the channel? Is there any feedback? Since, like I said, it's the first time I've seen you, Eddie. I'll write you back. Good story. Happily single now. Okay, you don't want to put it all in. Never happened to me, but I know some guys that are not able to lead, not able to give an opinion on as simple things as where to go eat. Now, let me ask you this question, Miss Keisha Shaw and Sabina, and if any other females are listening. And this isn't, Eddie, you might want to chime in on this, and Dylan, if you're still out there. I keep talking about the book I'm going to write. Maybe, I'll have to ask you first about the Aloha Male chapter. Have you known friends? This is a good question, Sabina and Keisha, since we have you on deck and you guys are active. Followed our mate Corey and got her back. Good for you. You've been awesome. Yep, you've been awesome. Followed our mate Corey and got her back. Okay, so I would like to know how you got her back, and then if it didn't work out, for sure, Eddie. I appreciate it. My question to Keisha and Sabina, and Eddie, you might want to chime in. We're talking about alpha and beta men, and you're saying that, masculine men lead and masculine men have an opinion. But let me ask you this. Do you have any friends, girlfriends, and maybe Eddie, if you're on deck right now, friends of friends or colleagues that are women, that actually have a man that is quite beta, that doesn't lead, that is a doormat, or and the woman is in a long-term relationship and she seems to like to walk all over him and lead? Yes. See, this is my thing. It's like, there's all these, I want more of a masculine guy. I'm like, damn, when I go back to the States, there's some women out there that seem quite happy punking their guy around. He speaks up at the table. They fucking knock him down right away. And the guy's married for 5, 8 years, 10 years. He's settled in. He's trying to do the right thing. And he becomes this trained, kept guy. And the woman's like, oh, yeah, I wish my man was more masculine. Why? You trained him to act like a, weakling. It seems to me that there's some women that like men this way. Is that true? Or do they just not know it? They'll say, oh, well, I'm not really attracted to him. He's just my husband. And you know what? I'm around it. I remember when I was a kid. So just my parents, I won't get too into detail. I've talked about it in other videos and I've talked about it in live streams. My parents have been married over 40 years and it hasn't been all good. So my dad was a bad alcoholic when I was young. There's been some things there. They've broken up a couple of times. They've almost had a divorce. So it's not all rose petals and wine glasses. But my dad has always kept his masculine side, for damn sure. And I didn't always appreciate that as a kid, I guess. But we used to have, parents would have like mutual friends, or my mom had a couple colleagues she worked with, that she worked at a dentist's office, and they would all get together for dinner. And there was this one couple, man, and my dad would just feel bad for the guy because the guy would just get punked. I mean, his wife, she wasn't just running the show. She was treating him like a child, and their kid, who's now grown, would punk the dad around too. And he'd just be like, oh, okay, I'll go take the trash out. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. And they're married. I mean, they were married. God rest the guy's soul. He's passed away. And now I feel a little bit bad because it sounds like I'm talking bad about the guy, but I'm not. That relationship was built that way. It was accepted. To the outside people like me, I'm like, damn, dude, when are you going to stand up to him? My dad used to always go like, what the hell, poor guy. But you know what? Some people like those relationships. They're comfortable. They probably learned them from their parents. And she couldn't even see what she was doing, but she would, and the thing is, she'd punk him around and lead him and say this. Who's the one that's looking bad? So so both of you have responded that you know what I'm talking about, that there are women out there, whether they realize it or not, that like beta men that don't lead because they like to be the leader. They like to run the show. The woman asked me even to decide where they are going for a honeymoon. What? Yes, they've been married for over 10 years. Get a job on a cruise ship sounds boring. Doesn't sound like a way to get your ex back. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Getting on a cruise ship is a way to get you back. But if you went on, think about this. When I said the cruise ship thing, sorry to confuse everyone out there because that was just a question. Let's say you just broke up and you tell your ex, I'm going on a cruise ship. Don't go. Don't go. You might meet a bunch of other people. That sounds like an interesting thing. The man was okay with that. The man was okay with getting outside opinions for the honeymoon. Dylan, join the Navy and enjoy. Some women love women that have alpha energy, right? That's my point, Keisha. And I don't know what's wrong, what's right. At the end of the day, you accept what you accept. You create expectations in a long-term relationship. And basically you train each other what's acceptable. And when you get to like 5 years, 10 years, let's say you get to like 7, 8 years, 9 years, and you're in a deep relationship where you live together, and every night you do the dishes and every night you cook dinner, and then all of a sudden you say, I don't want to do this anymore. The guy isn't just going to go, okay, no problem. I'll whip up dinner and clean the dishes, because for 8 years, he's had that done for him. See what I'm saying? So, but yeah, definitely women. There's some women out there, and there's a large portion of women don't realize it. They're attracted to alpha men just like we're attracted to feminine women, because it's the polar opposite. But at the end of the day, in a long-term relationship, they like running the show. But I can't do all, can't do everything. I get you. I've got a dream job and I will succeed, hopefully, right? You want to be a singer, I know. I'm glad for you. Yes. Yeah, it's an interesting thing when we get into these live streams. Interesting topics. Thanks, Sabina, for being so commentive, if you will. Dylan's always on deck. And Keisha, welcome today. ATL's finest. What do they have in America? They have Love in Atlanta, that where they had like you can still sing in the Navy. I don't know. I'm not sure if they have a singing choir. Yep, I come across some very alpha females. Usually seems to stem from upbringing that they've had to fend a more for themselves. Thoughts? Yeah, Eddie. There's definitely some alpha females out there, and if they're complaining that men aren't alpha enough, alpha men are not going to be attracted to alpha females as much, period, right? Because it's the polar opposite. The Tassie Devil will always be on deck, lest I miss it. LOL. Cheers. Yeah, so let's look at it this way. For every woman that's saying that there's all these feminine or beta men, there's women out there that, you know, will gladly take the reins on a guy that's being feminine or beta and run the fucking show. And like I just asked you guys, do you know some relationships like that? And you're like, yes, with 2 S's. And you see them and you're around them, and sometimes you're like, damn. But for some reason they work. Some of them work long term because someone said, all right, I'll take that role until they don't want to anymore, right? And then some people abuse it, right? But the best relationship are the appreciation for moments. The best relationship I would say before would be like, oh, growth. Both of you are growing as individuals, but both of you are growing as individuals. But actually appreciate the fact that every relationship has moments, it has highs and lows. And in those moments, it doesn't define your relationship. In those moments, you're going to have some really attractive times. And you are going to have some times that aren't good. So I talk about this about attraction. Attraction is very moment to moment. And the same with your relationship, I've come to realize. That we think that something really bad happens, it's a moment. It doesn't define the entirety of the relationship nor the future of the relationship. It's kind of a deep topic or subject to look at. But a lot of times we'll take one moment and we'll blow it up as the whole thing. Oh, you're a Bronx girl from New York. Well, congratulations on the Nets. I don't know if is Brooklyn close to the Bronx? Because you guys just got Kevin Durant. I don't know if you're a basketball fan, hon, but I am. I'm a Warriors fan, so you guys got him. Keisha, all the best. Thanks for joining, hon. Have a good day at work. And thank you for putting me up on that new term, aloha male. Thanks. This was fun. See you next time. I really appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you too, Miss Shaw. Hey, bro, how you doing? I texted my ex last week and she didn't reply. It seems like she's moving on now, which has given me the strength to move on. It hurts like hell, but gotta be done. Nav, sometimes getting hurt is clarity 101. Sometimes that last stab to your gut, you go, okay, I'm going to the hospital one more time and that's it. I'm not going down that fucking dark alley again and texting my ex and getting pummeled. So texted my ex last week. She didn't reply. It seems like she's moving on now. Whether it seems like it or it doesn't, you didn't get a reply. You didn't get what you wanted. You didn't get any positive, receptive callback. Move forward, move on. Don't be angry. Get clear and just say to yourself, this is my signal right now. This is my sign. I was looking for it. I was wondering, hey, has she moved on yet? Now she basically told me, I don't even want to respond to you in a text. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Move forward, my friend. Sabina, I will be signing with my idol, hopefully tour the world with him. Absolutely outstanding, Dylan. I'm very happy for you. Yes, it's close. Cool, Dylan. Yes. So I'm assuming that about basketball. Sabina, you might become one of my fans when I start singing. Well, I hope you already started singing. Nav, you got any other questions, Mr. Nav34D? Nav, did we do a live coaching together or is this another Nav? I will, Dylan. There you go. You're already he's already combing the live streams for fans. Good for you, Dylan. Do what you got to do, my friend. Do what you got to do. Tasmania is supposed to have a killer art scene, I hear. That'd be an interesting country to go to. I actually have a few friends and I have a few acquaintances that I know from there. So all really cool, down-to-earth people, Dylan. You'd think, how do you know people from Tasmania? The lull in the live stream. Well, this has been good. We're on an hour right here. I got some rain chumming. Then I can help you organize concert in Valencia, Spain, have music contacts there. Wow, Sabina, that's pretty big time. Valencia, Spain. That's a country I've always wanted to go to. Never been. My grandma's from Spain. Last name Robles. Me too. Maybe let's all go. Great people in Spain. Well, my grandma was a good person. Yep, that was the name. That's just her surname, maiden name. Yeah, Spain's on my list. If people ask me, if you went to Europe, where would you go? I haven't been to Europe yet. Probably Ireland because my other grandfather's from there, McCarthy. And Spain comes up a lot. Portugal seems like some place people never go that seems like a beautiful place. Beautiful women in Portugal. The ones I've met. Wow. Not to say that Italy wouldn't have them. Not to say that every country wouldn't have them, actually. Coming back, the fastest way to get your ex back. We've come off topic here a little bit, but it's always fun on the live streams. This is what I like. We've gotten all the way over to the country of Spain. Jesse, they're going to hold that, what you just posted, but I got it. Crystal clear, my friend. Jesse just mentioned how good a country Germany is to visit. And I actually have clients that are from Germany. I actually have a client that is from India, but goes to school out there and talk to him quite often. Well, not quite often, maybe every 3 months. He loves it. I've heard really good things about the people and the culture there. Portugal is also great, just a bit more expensive than Spain. Okay. It just seems like no one ever talks about going to Portugal. Jesse's in. Thanks, Jesse. You like that Rational Male book, huh? That suited you down to the boots, my friend. That's great. Jesse did a live coaching with you a while back, and I think you're doing pretty well. I think you're doing better. And that book you've mentioned is pretty good, right? I will check your link, Dylan, here on YouTube. Started singing. Oh, Mac, trust me, I need my idol to teach me some of his songs. They are the ones I sing them nearly 24/7. Sabina, I think you'll be a fan of my idol. He's loved by millions of girls. Here we go. He sent you a video. Okay. You have no videos, Dylan. We should have I'm going to talk about this in another live stream. Maybe I should set up a breakup retreat. What do you guys think? A breakup retreat in Phuket, Thailand. Fastest way to get your ex back, focus on you, make yourself more centered, be happy. Everybody wants to hang around happy, confident people. Fucking Eddie, that's outstanding. You're a genius among men. That's actually the healthiest way, right? That's the healthiest way. Focus on you, make yourself more centered, be happy. Everybody wants to hang around happy, confident people. One thing I'd say about happy, and I'm not taking anything away from your statement, keep it simple and don't overthink. That's a good way to put it. You can't be happy all the time. I think that's one thing that's misplaced in people striving for happiness. Without the bitter, you can't taste the sweet. Okay, so you wouldn't know what happiness is without being sad sometimes. So I would say embrace when you have a few sad moments and feel them and deal with them. Get up off the mat and be happy and do things that make you happy, but deal with the times that you're not happy. Deal with the times that you are sad, because in order for you to really appreciate being happy, you gotta have some bad shit happen in your life, and you have to deal with it. Correct me if I'm wrong. The movie Vanilla Sky talks about that over and over again. Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise, kind of a crazy, weird movie, but I always think about that statement. Tom Cruise plays this rich guy that has everything, that owns these cool cars, has girls all over him. He gets in an accident, but his friend keeps telling him, without the bitter, my friend, you can never taste the sweet. Because throughout the movie, he's never appreciating how great his life is. He's just got this shit-eating grin on his face all the time, doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants, feeling like he's on top of the world. Bam. Gets in an accident, shit goes down, and he just goes like this. So I haven't posted videos of myself singing on YouTube. I need way more practice, especially. Dylan, I'm going to tell you right now, ship your videos out. If you look at my videos out there, I'm not a singer, but as far as, breakup coaching and doing this, if you look at, I have 500 videos, just ship them. Make crappy videos. Let people judge them. You got to start somewhere. I was just looking through some of my old videos today, and you know what? The sound's not good. This is not good. Just ship the content, my friend. That's how you start. I've just come out of the dark side of a light depression. Don't try to get it over it. Work on getting through it. It's okay not to be okay. Process. What does Winston Churchill say, Eddie Braun? When you see hell, go through it. Is that a quote from Mr. Churchill? When you're in hell, go through it. Aye. Is that Scottish? Aye. The Rational Bail is awesome, Mac. Almost finished. That's a good book, huh? I think it suits you being 29 years old, being where you're at, and it has some good things. It's one of those books you don't have to believe everything. Whenever you read a book like that, nice one. Nice pivot, Jesse. Nice pivot, my friend. 3rd of August. You got a lot of time to prepare. Maybe you can get another date in between, right? Start spinning plates, as they say in the Rational Mail. Start spinning some plates. Right? Good for you, man. Just because you got a lot of time in between now and the 3rd. right? There's only so many times you get your hair cut between then. Oh, wow. This is interesting, Sabina. This is really interesting that you said that. I've never talked about this as a topic, but I've had girlfriends tell me, more than one, I think two that come to my mind, that's when they think guys look their best. Jeans and a white t-shirt. Now it's so interesting because you think about style and you think about looking good, but if you have a pretty good body or pretty good, frame, women have told me that often, that a white t-shirt and jeans. Interesting. I wear a white t-shirt a lot. Thinking that good shoes would be good too. Women, that's funny. My first girlfriend who worked at a shoe store, we were young, 20s, no, 19, 20. She used to say that. She's like, when guys have dirty shoes or ugly shoes, she said it was a turnoff for her too. She said good shoes were a big deal. Interesting. Really, really interesting. Wear jeans and a white t-shirt. And you look at military, absolutely, mate, trust me. Lost 11 pounds as well back in jiu-jitsu, Av. Got new aftershave, grooming kit, face, wash cream. Good for you. She was on the point. Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, I've had other women tell me that before. White t-shirt and jeans and the shoe thing. The Tom Cruise Top Gun look, right? And interesting enough, Jesse, you might be able to relate to that, my friend. The Tom Cruise. Thanks for the advice, Sabina. Will definitely take it on point. Cool, Jesse. Keep up hard work and sport. Jesse's good people, man. Really good guy. Really good people. And the breakup that you just had, you're going to come out of it just fine. You already are. You already are, my friend. This has gone pretty well today. Nice little chat. Sabina's been here since the beginning. And you're not even in a situation where you're hurting over a breakup. You just like the show and the live stream, I assume, and helping other people out, it sounds like, Sabina. Thank you. Comes on phases, but like you said, oh, yeah, you're going to have to deal with the moments, my friend, but the moments will get farther and fewer between, and you'll find ways to deal with them. If you weren't healing, then you wouldn't be hurting, if that makes sense. Going to get through it, it's all good. Yes, you are, but I still can learn. Hell yeah, you can, Sabina. And you can also teach and preach like you do right now. You're helping a lot of other people out here. I'm sorry. Never check my phone too much. Just been going off there for a minute. Okay. You like the cheers. Cheers. 7 people on deck. Had some new ones with Mr. Eddie Braun joining today. Glad we tried a different time frame that's more favorable for some other people here. Keisha got off. That's good. Jessica, yo, Belgium's finest. How are you? Hopefully good. I think it's probably still a work day for you today. But it's Friday. It's my day. I'm great. Found a new gym with sauna and wellness center. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, anyone out there, I think if beyond just a gym, having a sauna and a wellness, that's nice. Ice pool with the sauna. I've told someone before, if you don't like working out or you don't like exercising as much and you just get a sauna in 4 or 5 times a week, priceless. It's almost like cheating at exercise. I would still say you could exercise. I'm still listening. I just can't type because don't try it, hon. Don't do it. Don't type and drive. I'm a big proponent against that. We're talking about movies today. You've seen the movie 7 Pounds. Don't type and drive. Jesse, I found instead of letting it eat up all day. Pick a time at the end of the day to think about the breakup. Otherwise, it will consume you and then be a bad habit. Well, thanks for that suggestion, Eddie. The other part of that is I've told people before, get a journal, get a piece of paper, and just start writing so you get it out of your head. Whether you throw that away or keep it for later on, at least you're getting it out of your head. And make sure you have if there's certain times of the day where you're triggered, make sure you're busy. Pool, swim every day, no gym person. I do aqua gym. Well, good for you. Swimming's got to be one of the best all-around workouts there is, so can't go wrong there. Oh, Mac, I messaged the guy like you said, told him his stuff is here and asked if he wanted to come pick it up and go for a drink. He said, sure, but next week. Well, this is a casual situation, and I think you're okay with that, right? I heard you saying that, and it did help. Well, thanks, bud. I'm glad it did, Eddie. Sometimes it's the small things like this, right? Because I'm sure everyone that's here, you included, Eddie, because I haven't seen you on the live stream before. But, there's a lot of material out there, right? From Corey Wayne and some other people that you mentioned. So if you can get some tidbits from me that help, that are different, that's fucking outstanding, bud. And thanks for letting me know that, because that's something I reiterate a lot, looking at your routine and looking where you're at and the triggers, and then finding something new to do during those times. Guy won't say never no to a great girl. Well done. Look at Sabina. You're a nice person. Yeah, I kind of miss him, but still, I'm going to survive. Just keeping busy and socializing as usual. And keep your options open too, Jessica. You're single right now. You had a good time with this guy. If you guys revisit it in a casual way, that's just fine. You're in a good place, though. You're in a good situation. You're not highly attached. And in the meantime, if something else comes up, you won't feel guilty about pursuing that. I am a nice person with sunglasses on. Well, it's good to be a nice person, right? Eddie Braun's a nice person. Okay. You know what's funny is there are people out there that are proud of being a jerk, right? There are people that are like, I'm not nice. That's just how I am. I'm selfish. It's just like, well, you're gonna continue to be that way as long as you say I am. You're gonna guide your self-conscious to be that way. So as much as you can say I'm a nice person and believe it, it's fucking gonna help you out. And being if you're going through hell, keep going. I said that earlier about Winston Churchill, right? And I just came across that. And I came across Winston Churchill today too. I listen to audiobooks every day. And that was in a book just recently. I can't think of what it was. Hell yeah, I'm open for dating and everything. There's just no one around interesting or interested right now, but it will come. It will. It will. Be open, but not too nice. There's a fine line, right, Eddie? There is such thing as too nice, because some people can take your kindness for a weakness. And it's human nature to take advantage of other humans when you can. Some people don't agree with that. Some people think that's a little bit shady. But it's actually, in a lot of cases, it's true. I'd like to think that I'm not like that in a lot of ways. But if you're a vulnerable person that's too nice, you're putting yourself as what I would call a wounded on the savannah. People will come to take parts of you out. A lot of are proud to be bad ones. There's a lot of people. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, there's some people out there that are like, that's just how I am. I'm this person. And it's just like, wouldn't you want to tell people that I'm a nice person, I'm a good person, and believe it? I don't know. Jessica, be open-minded, think quality guy, high value. Look at Jesse out here giving a little pat on the back, Mr. Jesse. Corey Wone quote, the phone is for making dates. Okay. Interesting thing about that is I think that social media and texting has really evolved over the last 3-4 years to a place where communication is different. I've talked about this in the live stream before about the cold approach and different things like that. So, just sending someone a quick message and going like, hey, let's make a date, right? But I know what you mean about Corey Wayne's quote about phone is for making dates, because you do need interpersonal contact. And I think that actually people have way more text talk probably than is ideal in an intimate relationship. I just know from my own experience, might be my age, I don't know. But when I'm in a relationship or I'm seeing someone, texting all day is not my thing, okay? I like to be in person. I like to talk. If I'm going to talk, it's going to be on the phone. If it's going to be texting, actually thinking about it right now, it will be like, oh, I'll see you at dinner at 5, see you at the house at 5, something like that. Or it'll be like, oh, did you miss this or something? It won't be chit chat. It won't be like, oh, what are you doing right now? ... Oh, here we go. Jesse and Jesse here. Maybe I should set up an app for some of my clients to meet each other. Or someone was talking about a Facebook room. The phone is making dates. Sounds weird. Social media is for making dates. I think as everyone is on it 24/7. What if you had I thought about this recently and someone could steal the idea because I'm probably not going to execute it. What if you had a cafe, like a coffee shop, because everyone goes to cafes, I guess I'm like a Starbucks or something like that, and you weren't allowed to use your phone while you were in there? When I was a kid, I always liked libraries for some reason, because I liked the quiet. I liked the fact that everyone had to be quiet, even though I fucking talk a lot. I don't know why. I just was like, oh, I'm going to get some quiet thinking in. It's going to be a solemn place. And I just feel like nowadays that would be good. No phones. Like if you just went into a certain cafe, the no phone cafe, everyone's got to put their fucking phone away. Doesn't mean you have to talk to anyone. You could be quiet. You could be silent. You got to be present. Maybe there'd be more conversations in the cafe. I don't know. Bouncer getting all phones and dumping them into a box as if they were guns at the airport security check. That's funny. That's fun. That would be interesting, actually. I mean, I don't really go out to clubs. I never really liked them before. I mean, when I was younger, I went out to them. It was never my thing, though. Probably because you can't really get a good conversation at a club when the fucking music's so loud. Right? I'd rather talk than dance, for me. Always been that way. Oh, nice little stream here. We got some more. Thanks for the like, folks. Got another like here. Thank you so much. Going for 4 likes today. 1 hour and 17 minutes. It's been a while. If there was a place where you couldn't use a phone, I'd put mine on silent and get it. I'm a rule breaker, sort of. Oh, you are a rebel, Dylan. You are a serious rebel without a cause, my friend. We should have more self-control and put our phones away. Supposedly, there's a lot of people. There's some friends that I have in Southern California that tell me that when they go out to dinner as a group, everyone's supposed to put their phone in the middle of the table. I'm sure other people do this. And the first person to grab their phone has to buy dinner for everyone. I don't know. I've never felt that way. I mean, Dylan, what I mean is you set a date on the phone, quick chat, and go from there. You will have nothing to talk about. I used to put on my headphones when I walked through town, and now I don't anymore because it limits human interaction. Well, yeah, I could. I listen to audiobooks a lot in the car, and then when I get out and go somewhere, I leave my headphones in. And you're right. It can limit your interaction because you're in a flow state and you're listening to something. Yeah, that's true. The thing about human interaction, Jessica knows I've talked to her about this in a live coaching before, but and I think that you do it naturally already, Jessica. But when you're in a breakup or you're in between, go out of your way in a genuine way to be nice to people, to say thank you, to spark up a conversation in a coffee shop with a woman or a man that you're not attracted to, but you just make good conversation with them and you give them a compliment. When is your birthday? February 1st, number 1, with the broken finger. See the little butt finger I have? Split it in half when I was a kid. February 1st, 81. You're the monkey. Audiobooks are good. Actually, I have it on when I'm in the car. I love audiobooks. It's changed my life, to be honest. 20th of February. Oh, cool, man. We got some Aquarius. Yeah. The water giver. I don't know a lot about Aquarius. I think they're nice people. They're giving. I don't know. I'm surprised. One thing is, though, the Chinese year, when you have the year of the dog, the year of the rat. It's interesting you brought this up, Sabina, because someone just asked. I was at a group dinner with friends, and someone just asked me this. Gotta watch Hair again sometime. The movie Hair. Someone was just asking me about this, about your sign, and we were talking about the years. And I always thought I was the year of the rooster. And someone that was a coaching client was like, when's your birthday? She wanted to know all these things about, and I said, I'm Aquarius, February 1, I'm 81, I'm the year of the rooster. She's like, no, you're not. You're the year of the monkey. And that explains a lot about you. And I looked up the year of the monkey, and I was like, oh, yeah, it sounds like me. So you ever look those things up, like Aquarius or the year you were born, and you're like, wow, that really sounds like me. Does it ever not look like someone? My father's a Leo, and that applies to him. Eddie Braun, every time I was too nice, my ex became avoidant, which caused me to be a little anxious. I had to pull back a little, and then she would always come back. Well, you got a playbook there, and you guys are operating on opposite ends of that playbook. So she knows that button to push, and then you push this button. Got to watch Hair again. I'll just clarify, that's a movie. I was a rebel in high school, Mac, but in college, I was probably one who got into fights or scruff ups 24/7. Wow, Dylan. I was probably, I don't want to say a class clown, but I like to joke around a lot. Like to talk a lot, very social, but not in a lot of fights. Wouldn't be described as a fighter, no. Yeah, the musical XD. Okay, my mom likes musicals. We used to always have to watch the musical Grease when I was a kid. Mac, I got to shoot, bro. We'll be in touch for coaching sessions start August. Keep up the cool work. We'll chat, get some cool stuff to tell you. Right on, Jesse. Right on, bro. Have a good day. Sorry, slow typer. I'm a bit behind the conversation. No problem. Lover, not a fighter. Me too. Yeah. I mean, I certainly, Sabina, I have an opinion. I definitely have an opinion, and I can get in an argument over an opinion, but it's usually, I wouldn't stand in the corner not saying anything, but physical fights, not often. Not often. A few. Ahmad Mohammed, hello and welcome, my friend. I don't know if you've been on. I'm glad to see you live. Well, thanks. Welcome. But I don't know if you've been on a live stream before, but I usually don't have this time sequence, but I thought I would put it on for some of the people that aren't making it. Thanks for the like, whoever gave me that. I need your quick advice. What is your opinion on the partner who has high anxiety and anxious? Dialogue always before a fight. Yeah. Same, Mac. I'm glad to see you live. High anxiety and anxious. Okay, first of all, where's the anxiety coming from? Are they identified? She actually left me, broke up with me 2 months ago. Have you sent in a story before? Ahmed? I'm sorry, Ahmed probably. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to play doctor. I'm just going to give you my opinion, okay? So what Sabina said, that requires therapy. Okay, I'm with that. If you want my take, I would say some of the questions I would ask, is she identifying with the anxiety as something she just has, or she can actually combat it, do some things to work against it? So, okay, she's under therapy. But my question is, sometimes people, when I say identify, it's like earlier Sabina goes, I'm a nice person. So she identifies with being nice. It's part of her character. It's what she believes she is. When someone says, I am anxiety, I have anxiety, and they think of it as something they can't shake. So they don't try new things or give new things a chance, because anxiety can be combated with exercise, better sleep, and finding the triggers. So anxiety comes from stress, but where's that stress coming from? So that stress could be coming from work, particularly one boss, particularly one route, whatever. You got to size it down. Someone goes, oh, I got anxiety from work. You got to get more detailed. It's like if someone tells me they have anxiety from their partner, and I'm not saying this is the case for your ex, they have to find out what the triggers are first, just like a bad habit, because there's something that's bringing on the anxiety. It's not just everything. Okay. If she's anxious and anxiety are kind of go hand in hand. But what are the triggers? What are the things that spark this feeling? How can she eliminate them? And exercise, sleep are two big ones that sound really simple, but actually are big areas that people are deficient in when they're getting a lot of anxiety. Okay. And I'll take it a step further. Diet. Oh yeah, no, it's got to be just this or that. No, coffee, alcohol, these kinds of things will trigger a worse case of anxiety. Does that make sense? So there's plenty of stuff. One thing that's a really interesting technique, and I've recommended it to other people, and I'm going to explore it. And it's a quite simple technique. It's called EFT, and I've used this before. And I'll let you look this up and do your own research on it because it might be a little bit boring for everyone else. EFT is emotional freedom technique. It's tapping, and it's kind of like affirmation chanting, and you'd be tapping like, I'm letting go of anxiety and fear. And then you switch to here. They have videos on it on YouTube. That's something interesting that you could, when someone's dealing with a problem like depression or anxiety, they have to be open to the fact that they want to fix it. It's just like when I deal with people with breakups and they call me. The nice thing is once you pay a pretty good price, I think it's good value, but at the same time you commit by paying a certain amount of money, like $125 an hour. I'm not discounting, wow, that's expensive, but you're committing, you're saying, hey, I'm having a lot of trouble with my breakup and I want to try some things. I want to get some help and some feedback from someone that helps other people. And I've watched your other stuff. With anxiety, this EFT training, they have videos on YouTube. And if you watch them, it's pretty simple process to follow. And they have some examples. And then you can get someone that's a practitioner to maybe in your town. But that's something that I would explore. But the first step is for her to realize I can get rid of anxiety. I can work with it. I can beat it. And what are some of my options? So if she goes to therapy or she goes to see someone and she doesn't like that individual, you can go to a therapist and you just don't bond well with them. That's the good thing about my channel or someone else. You can kind of judge me by my YouTube videos, my live stream, and really get a feel. And then by the time we get in a video session, you kind of know me a little bit. You know my point of view. You know where I'm coming from. And you're not blindly just paying someone that you've never met before. It makes it a little bit more cold. But anyways, check out this EFT. There's a bunch of YouTube videos on it. That could be something that could help. But if your question is how to deal with a partner like that, she needs to confront it up front, okay? Her father cheated on her mom, and ever since she is controlling, fearful, need my anxiety all the time, and constant attention. I used to love her so much, but it was too much for me sometimes. Well, her problems are not going away until she addresses her problems with her childhood and her father cheating. So if you're identifying that maybe as the root, she has to find a way to dig that root out. And I would say EFT's one. Hypnotherapy, I think, is underrated. It's another thing, but she needs to identify it as a problem first and foremost in her own life, and then want help. The first step in getting help for anything is saying, I have a problem. I really want help. When someone goes, oh yeah, I got this shoulder pain, right? And I come over and I say, hey, I'm pretty good at massage. Do you want me to help you? No. They don't want to be helped. I've seen people do this before. No, I don't. You're going to end up hurting me. They don't want to be helped. They'd rather carry the victim cape. And there's a lot of people comfortable with that. They don't want to get helped. It's part of their identity to have anxiety, have depression, and they won't let it go. Mac will help you think about things. I've done therapy with my ex. Mac has helped me breathe again, take a step back and try and be understanding towards her. Well, thanks, Eddie. I appreciate that, bud. It's very kind of you. I decided to have a break to work on myself for a couple of weeks. When I talked to her again, she decided to break up for good, accusing me I'm not committed. She has zero trust, emotional stability. Well, there's your answer right there. An individual, you're in a relationship with her and you guys have zero trust, you have zero relationship. If you're in a long-term relationship and you have attraction, trust, and connection, trust is number one long-term. In the beginning, attraction and connection are really important. Trust is built, right? You don't just go out with someone for 2 months. That's what's really hard when you're with someone 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years, and you guys break up. It's like, holy shit, this is someone I trusted. That hurts, okay? The fact you broke up for a reason. Mac is the little path in the middle of the crazy jungle our minds and hearts create. Well, that's a fucking really nice thing to say, Jessica. I appreciate it. And I appreciate it coming from someone that we've done a couple live coaching sessions now. And you're in the live streams quite a bit. I really appreciate that. That's a nice compliment. It's kind. Now I'm in no contact, but I want her back. You want someone with high anxiety that doesn't trust you, that has issues with their parents, that has nothing to do with you when you've never cheated. I think you want the original relationship before this became a big problem. It doesn't sound like you're going to do anything to fix that. And you're going to just be like a dog chasing its tail over and over and over again. Does that make sense? Yes. 1.5 years. Okay. So can I get her back? Ahmed, what do you want? If you want her back now, you're going to have to deal with her anxiety and her jealous ways now. If she somehow says, I'm going to therapy and now I'd like to include you in that because I've realized that I've been overly jealous. Why would you want another chance with someone that has high anxiety and is accusing you of being jealous and has zero trust or emotional stability? This kind of relationship is going to drive you nuts, and I don't think you're qualified to fix that. And she's just in the middle process of dealing with that, and it might be best for her to deal with it on her own. Are you having issues with moving on? Why do you really want her back? I love her, guy. I get it. This is fresh. You've only been with her 2 weeks. It's easy for me to sit here and speak this freely and this openly. So I'm not telling you this is easy. I'm breaking it down as an unbiased, honest individual with just what you're telling me. And that's the value I have. And if you're really having trouble, Ahmed, I would recommend that you send in your full story to writemac.com. I know this sounds like a plug, but it's the absolute truth. Send it in and book a live coaching session. And if it's not useful or helpful, I'll give you your money back. I won't guarantee you to get your ex back, but if it's not useful or helpful, we'll go through it for an hour to 2 hours, depending on how long you want to do it. But if you're really having trouble right now, this is really a time to get clear on what happened and what you want. Currently, you love her and you miss her and you want her back, but really you're walking yourself into a booby trap because you're going to come back to the same place over and over again. That girl could have some serious mental health issues you don't know about. Are you ready for that? Well, that's the thing. She's working on them and she's in therapy. And then she goes, hey, I've realized that I wasn't being fair in the relationship and I wasn't trusting you. I'd like you to bring you in on our therapy. Okay. But if she's not there yet, maybe she needs this time alone. Do you really want her back and miss her? Or do you miss what it was in the beginning or what you wanted it to be? Very good question, Eddie. Very good question. And again, if this is fresh, it's only been 2 weeks and you've been with her and you love her. I get it, Ahmed. I get it. This is easy for me to say, but it's stuff you kind of need to hear, right? Write out your story and send it in to me, Ahmed. I'm not a cure, but I can give you a compass and a map. That's excellent. Right, Sabina. I have a whole bunch of exes. I moved on from all of them. Some are good friends. Some have disappeared. Either way, I've moved on and life continues. Life does go on. It doesn't mean when you're in the middle of it and you're in the present moment of it, it seems like it's never going to get over. But the toughest times are what make us, really. Shit. If everything went right till now, At some point, the axis or the other shoe is going to drop, and you're going to have to figure out things, right? Yeah, Eddie, I'm with you. I've been there. I completely understand. But this is the kind of stuff you need to hear, Ahmed. This is the kind of stuff you need to hear, and fully write out that story, because your version of what you're feeling really needs to be addressed. Because right now, when you're dealing with someone with high anxiety and some mental issues, your attention and your care is all on them. And you really need to get in touch of what you want and what's fair to you, man. Rose-colored glasses and all. Yeah, we all have them on sometimes, man. We all want to believe what we want to believe. Well, this has been a nice session here. It's been a nice little time zone. I was just going to pop on for 30 minutes as usual, and was able to touch base with NAB34D. Yeah, some other people I haven't seen for a while. This is great. I'll tell you this, and I tell people this a lot. I don't know your story, but the problems you had, if you're saying this high level anxiety and everything, if it didn't happen now, it was going to happen at another time. So this is probably something that had to happen. And if you want to prolong it for another year or 2 years, it's not very good to be in a relationship where you have zero trust, your words. So, I mean, what kind of relationship are you prolonging when there's zero trust? That seems like that would be not fun. And I've said this many times. You never want to be in a relationship where you're constantly saying sorry or explaining yourself when you never did anything wrong. My glasses are star-shaped and dark like metal music. I don't do rose anymore. Well, good for you. Fair enough. Fair enough. This has been pretty good. We're almost on 2 hours here, folks. Thanks for the likes. Maybe Ahmed has the savior mentality and can't let it go. I think with Ahmed, from what it sounds like right now, it's only been 2 weeks or 3 weeks. He thought that they were kind of taking a break, and it ended up being a breakup. And when you have someone that isn't well mentally, you worry about them being on their own. And at some point when they're an adult, you're enabling them to keep acting the same way they're acting, and it's not really going to help them move forward or grow. And it's still difficult, right? It's the same thing if someone's a drug addict or an alcoholic. You're like, but they're going to go out drinking and driving and they're going to hurt someone. It's like, well, once you break up, if you sit there and you keep trying to do that, it's hard. It's hard. It's difficult, but long term, you got to live your life, and they're going to do what they want to do when they're an adult. Savior mentality. Yeah, you did in that first relationship, Jessica. You had a situation where you had that. You had good intentions. Sometimes it's like you're living life with an anchor around your back. And I've done it before because I consider myself a good person who likes to help people. And you keep entangling yourself with some people that just don't want help. Not anymore. Enough with playing with boys. Now I'm a grown woman. Good for you, Sabina. Good for you. It all seems so clear, hindsight, doesn't it? Hindsight 2020 seems so it's like, don't you wish you can go back to the future? The young's wasted on the young. I don't believe that. I mean, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at and who I am. So, but I've heard that statement. Does no contact apply also in this type of people? You're not a cougar, Jessica. You're not that old. Cougar, I don't know. What would be the age for that? You're young and you're not a cougar. Come on. Good question, Sabina. I can't entertain boys. Yes, all clear. But the last one. I'm 34. That's not a cougar. Yeah, you're young, hon. 34. And there's no problem with being a cougar, by the way, right? That's a compliment in my book. Well, you had fun, didn't you, Jess? Sorry, Ahmed. Does no contact apply also in these types of people? I mean, you can make exceptions to the rule anytime you want. No contact is not a rules. I don't go by this. I'd have to really know your story. So if you want to get deeper on this, I would recommend sending your story to get tailored response. Otherwise, this is very general. I think Jessica knows what I mean because we've done it before. I don't mind answering questions, Ahmed, because this is what live stream is for. But if you're going to get deeper and deeper on it, the best thing to do is send your story in. And I could do a video response or we could do a live coaching. But the story, and you can even do a private email response where I just read your story and you just get it. But in order to give you a good tailored response, I need to know what's going on a little deeper. Good. I'm sincere in that too, because, you can go online and yeah, I agree. Do the live coaching. My last one with Mac actually encouraged me to contact the guy that was good. And that was good in my case. Good. Like I said, when you ask these general questions, not just you, Ahmed, but it's general answers. And what you really want is when you're really having trouble is to get out exactly what happened to you and you're in a particular place. And then I can get an idea of how you look at things too, right? How you're filtering things and how you're, dealing with your roadblocks and how you're not being able to move forward. Yeah, I know. Hour and 40 minutes. It's been a good one. It's been excellent. Thanks, Sabina. I think you've been on since the beginning. So I thank you kindly, actually. I have to come up with some kind of live stream prize. But Sabina doesn't need live coaching. She's actually like in there giving everyone a little bit of this, a little bit of that, right? I've almost had half a bottle of wine. Thanks, Sabina. Half a bottle of wine, a little bottle of red, some cab, a little Cabernet. I love red wine. I don't drink it that often. Where I'm at, they serve wine with ice. Cabernet, was I correct? That's random. Nice bottle of cab. So you've enjoyed this live stream. Wow, I got the cab right. That's weird. And someone else that was on, I mentioned Atlanta, and she's like, I'm in Atlanta now. Oh my God, I was just going to mention you. I was just thinking about you. Oh my God, I'm in traffic still hanging. Wow, that's why you had to get up so early, huh? And it was a cab. I guessed that correct, Eddie? Jeez. Nostradamus, huh? I don't know. I'm still in traffic, still hanging. Thanks, Keisha. I've seen you before. I don't remember in the live stream, but I've seen you before in the comments before. I don't know if you've sent me your story before, Keisha. I can't remember. But thanks for supporting this, guys. This is good. Takes a little bit of my time, but I enjoy the hell out of the live streams. Maybe I'll make 2 a day. I never get sick of these live streams. I can be on there all night. Really? Wow. Sometimes there's a low. I think it helps that they're smaller, huh? Some other channels that are bigger, people are like, oh, you should get more people in. I think it helps when you have 8 or 9 people and you can kind of really get this nice in and out of. Yeah, I did see you in the comments. Okay, cool, Keisha. Same, I could hang with Mac for hours every day. Thanks, Jessica. That's a compliment. I appreciate that, hon. I do appreciate that. It's funny because I'll go to a cafe sometimes alone, a lot of times, and I'll be doing some work and I'll be sending back emails. I'll be doing this and people will be like, What are you working on? What do you? I got my headphones in. I'm not talking. I'm not doing this. No one knows you're a breakup coach. Sam, I get to hang with Matt for hours every day. Okay. I've joined Livestream since I don't know when actually. I don't know when I started it, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Actually, I've gotten less views on live streams. I've enjoyed them, but they get less views than the stories probably because if you're not in the live stream, Jessica said she likes to watch them anyways, but some people, I don't think they're as fun if you're not interactive in them. But I make the choices here, right? Let's try to make it 2 hours. I'll do another 15 minutes to make it a 2-hour live stream here. Anyone have any closing questions? I've supported the channel since my story was uploaded. Dylan, you have, and that was probably one of the very early stories. So I thank you, bud. Looks like I'm drinking Kool-Aid. Mom used to always buy Kool-Aid. You guys probably don't know what that is in Europe. Kool-Aid. Someone told me a great quote today. Oh, Jesse, you're still on deck. Okay, give it to us. My story was uploaded the night before my 23rd birthday. Wow, that's dramatic. 23 is a good age. Shit. I remember when I was 23. Long time ago. Man, I was going through some of my channels. God doesn't pay his debts. What goes around comes around. Karma. Karma's true. I listen to your live streams, replay sometimes when I go to bed. It's my bedtime stories. Fuck. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate that. I've had some clients before say, "Oh, I don't like the live streams. I like the stories. That's your main dish." I don't really like those. So, but I'll tell you, thanks, bud. Yeah, what happened to the Tasmanian apple juice or whatever that was? Yeah, it was Tasmanian apple juice. Right now, I have water with a little bit of it's beetroot with lemongrass juice, but it's very sweet. So I just put, I don't know, a little dab of that in there. That's what makes the water colored. 24, another good age. Wow. Another good age to be 24 again. Yeah, I was looking through, as I was mentioning earlier. Yeah, beetroot wakes me up. That will keep the... I was looking through the channel, though, about some of the old videos that I've made, and I'm thinking, wow. Someone had told me, wow, you've changed your hair. You changed this much. Well, it's been almost 2 years, right? And I always do that anyways. It's just fun. But seeing the different videos, I was like, wow, there's a lot of videos online right now. And I'm at a point now where I'm getting back on deck. I've had some things go on this year that have been off and on. And now I'm fully committed back to the channel. Any closing questions here? No, it's starting to get to that point where it's in a simmer mode. Beetroot is very good for pre-workout and helps nitric oxide in the bloodstream. Well, thanks, Jesse. I like beetroot juice. I know it tends to wake me up more. That's for sure. It's one of those things. It's not coffee, but there's something about it that gets the whites of your eyes working. God, when I was looking at those videos today, there's a couple that I have outdoors. Outdoor light is the best light for any camera angle, huh? Being indoors, man. I don't talk about that, Keisha. One thing I don't talk about is my personal stuff. Some people do it on the other shows because one of the reasons why, Keisha, is if someone's going through a breakup, right? I don't want to talk about my dating or who I'm with, or because I saw it on another couple of channels, and some guys going like, me and my girlfriend have this excellent relationship, and our relationship's so great and wonderful. And I'm thinking, when you're going to someone for breakups, you don't want to hear anything about their relationships or what they're doing. So try to keep that off topic. Sometimes at the end of a live coaching or something, if someone wants to ask some of those kind of questions. But for now, that's why I don't do it. Because once you go down that rabbit hole of answering all those questions, it goes deep. But don't you agree if you're talking to someone that's in breakups though, and I start talking about dating, who I'm dating or who I'm with, and someone's like, oh man, I don't want, because I remember when I was in a breakup, like it's nothing worse. Tell me if I'm wrong on this. There's nothing worse than being around a friend that's like, oh, my girlfriend's so wonderful, or my boyfriend's so wonderful. I'm in such a great relationship. And you're just like, oh, fuck. Right? Oh, I'm dating 5 girls this week, or I'm doing this. And you're just like, I really didn't need to hear that, right? So I usually don't go there, and I just try to keep it to that because I've seen it. I don't think they know what they're doing, Sabina. I don't think they know what they're doing, but I've just even Charles Manson had a wife, and here we are, wonderful people, all single. Yeah, I mean it's one of those things though. Like I said, if I go into it, and especially if you go into a girlfriend thing, it's kind of funny because I just saw recently some guy talking about it on one of his other channels and just talking about how great a relationship he has and how his girlfriend's always there for him and all this other shit. And I'm like, if you go down that path, right? And then what happens when it doesn't work? It's all a moment. If someone is, thanks, Keisha. Fair question though. Head work. Oh no. Head work's coming on the permission to land granted. If someone is broken up right now, you are awesome enough to attract them to start with. So you have the self-belief you can do it again. Yeah, that's true, Eddie. Every relationship is a risk. Roger that. Yeah, well, here another way, because risk is really a negative word, but in a lot of ways, there's just no certainty. And I think when you go into a relationship and you're with someone for 4 or 5 years, and let's just say you got married or you live together, you suddenly get some certainty about things. And then when it breaks, it's just like, what the fuck just happened? You didn't see that coming. Roger that. Love the military talk. Yeah, but we can't seem to keep them, Eddie. Nah, it's not everyone. Hey, what if I had a show or I had a live stream with a bunch of married people? What would their gripes be? Oh my God, I wish I wasn't married. I mean, they would be griping more than you would probably be. That'd be a really interesting thing to talk about, but they're probably less open about it, right? It's true. They're probably a lot less open about it. There's a lot of people that I know that are, well, not a lot, but there's some people I know that are married that are envious of single people. Never been married, so no worries from me. The only thing I have is no comment. I've never been married also. Make peace with your past because you don't live there anymore. Otherwise, it will hold you back. I think my cab sob is talking now. Well, let it talk. Yeah, Jesse, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, I was at a music festival this weekend with a bunch of friends in relationships. They were all jealous of my life and called me a girl magnet. See, that's what I mean. So you think like, oh, why can't I mean? There's plenty of people I know that are. I've had some friends, and I'm like, oh fuck, man, you got a kid now, and you're married, and he's just like, yeah, I'm not fucking happy. What? It's like an episode of Seinfeld or something. It's like we're having a beer, and he's just like, yeah, and just going on for like an hour. This is before my breakup coaching days, and I'm thinking in my head, wow, she's a really nice woman. She's got a great job. Yeah, she drinks a lot, man. She gets really angry sometimes. It's like, what? Where's this coming from? I thought you guys are married. It's horrible. Don't get married. Okay. But I asked because it's like asking the married couple for 20 years, what's the secret? Good. Okay, so if I'm reading this correct, Keisha, you're saying if you asked a married couple of 20 years, what's the secret? I think you get different answers for different couples. But most of the time when you hear people that have been married a long time, they go, oh, it's a lot of work. That's the common thing. Oh, it's been a lot of work. It hasn't been all easy. Some people will say, oh, I've loved her my whole life. I mean, I think it comes down to morals and values being lined up. And I've said this before, and I've made a video about it a long time ago, Keisha. Morals and values, like especially like religion. Religion's a big thing for a lot of people. So I think our grandparents and great grandparents were more devout in religion, so they could line up their values much more. There was less outside noise. What I mean by that, social media, less ways of communicating, less information to get. So I think it's a little bit more difficult long-term to stick with someone because people are constantly thinking of upgrading. But the people that stay together have a lot of the similar values, grow together. They have a purpose, which might be kids or a house or a mortgage. The thing about a mortgage is you have a goal and a finish line to pay off a house. The thing about kids is we're going to stay with them till they're 20 years old or 18 years old and parent them. So I think the secret would be different for different groups. But if I had to give a broad answer, it would be lined up morals and values. I don't know what the Wow Mac's from. Doesn't mean they have 20 happy, good years. Thailand's a beautiful country. Geez, I was in the Air Force too. Good times. Oh, really, Jessica? How long? Mac, would you say it's harder to get over a relationship if you had unmet needs within it? I would need to know what those unmet needs were and what you're like to give you a tailored response. Again, and like what would be your story and what would be those unmet needs? If you don't want to share those in the live stream, I understand. But I would just be guessing it. One thing about helping people with their breakups and these things, really your specific situation counts in your story. So unmet needs can mean many different things. I would have to know the specifics and how they were unmet and how that was hurting you, because it could be something that was unmet in the past or something that keeps happening over and over again for you. Like, has this been an unmet need in a past relationship? So then you can find that it was a pattern rather than just this individual. I got to find a way to hook you guys up, huh? Oh, I got to start a Facebook group for you guys. Okay. Would that be the best way for you guys to maybe interact on your own sometimes if you see someone from one of these chats and you want to talk to them? I don't want to put you guys in a bad situation, but someone told me that before, maybe a Facebook group. I don't know. True. Everyone's spinning plates, right? Everyone's spinning plates. Okay. All right. I've always thought this. If I had a group, I would want to keep it to like 150 in each group because that's Dunbar's law. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dunbar's law. It states that 150 people is the maximum amount of people that you can actually know everyone within the tribe or the group. So I've always thought if you did something like that with Facebook to have like 10,000 people and then you just interact with all these people. I've always thought a good app or a good Facebook type thing would be like 150 people maximum. So that way everyone can kind of get to know each other. 150, look up Dunbar's law just out of curiosity, Jessica, and it'll explain what I'm saying. But it's saying that if you have look at these groups that you have on Facebook. They're like, oh, I have 10,000 friends. It's like, you don't have 10,000 friends. You don't got 10,000 moments in your life. Okay, Dunbar's law. You've heard that before? Yeah, it's basically saying that if you have 150 people in an organization or a group, you can really get to know each other and know each other's names, and kind of that's the max. When you get over that, you lose track. I was curious if anyone, because that's always been an idea of mine, to use Dunbar's law of 150, have these small little groups, and in that way. Thanks, Dylan, for staying for 2 hours. It's been a good one, but we got 10 people on deck at the end of 2 hours. This is outstanding. Okay, put me on the spot. I'm making some changes anyways. I keep saying I'm going to do a book review. I've gone over that. I got my notes for that ready. The Way of the Superior Man's coming, which might be interesting to women too. Actually, it's a all-time self-improvement men's book, or self-empowering men's book on masculinity. It's a big thing that Corey Wayne actually follows. If you've maybe Eddie, I don't know if you've come across it. Still waiting for the Where's Your Power t-shirts. All right. Okay. Well, this keeps me motivated. I really appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate it. What about the Rational Male book review? I'll do one of those. I'm going to do the Superior. I know there's no pressure. Thank you. It's all love. It's all support. Thank you kindly. The Rational Male will be a good book review. I haven't put the notes together for that one. But it's probably, for men, the most common book I recommend, just because I think it's one of those books that it's entertaining. It's not politically correct. You could take what you want from it. There's not another book that's just like it. Models for Men are also women. Models by Mark Manson. I think it would be relative to women. I think he writes it as a man's voice. He's writing it for men, but it would be interesting for women. I haven't read this book, Jessica, but the guy wrote a book called The Tactical Guide to Women by Sean Smith. Sorry, I didn't capitalize that. He has a book, The Tactical Guide to Men. So maybe you want to check that out. I haven't read it. The Tactical Guide to Women was actually really good. And I think you got that book, Jesse? Okay. And sometimes like a title like that, I'm like, wow, this is kind of cheesy. The Tactical Guide to Women. And it was really informative and cool. But the guy, Sean Smith, I think he's a psychoanalyst. Yeah, I know you didn't get the man one. But Jessica, if you do choose to read it, let me know what you think of it. I just think he wrote it well. I thought it was useful, helpful information, and he's got a lot of experience, it sounds like. And I'd be interested to get your feedback on it, actually, because other women have asked me, and I just thought, if he has a opposite of this book, it might be useful for some people out there. An interesting book is, if you're in long-term relationships, which you're not right now, is Mating in Captivity. That's an interesting book about long-term mating in captivity. On the audiobook, the lady's accent I don't really care for, but that's just a personal thing. Sometimes the sound of the voice, but the book's interesting. It's about cheating. It's about losing lust in long-term relationships and it being okay. So she gives this perspective that's really different. 5 Love Languages I haven't read. I'm familiar with the book. I think it's a gentleman named Gary something. The name's interesting, Mating in Captivity. She talks about a lot of different things, though. It's more, I would say it's more physical based. But she talks about individual couples that have had problems that she's dealt with. It's interesting. That's an interesting book. Really interesting book. Sounds like pandas locked up in the zoo. Pandas mating? All right, I'm going on 2 hours. This is my eyes limit. I didn't put on my sun blocking or my light blocking eyeglasses today. These are what give me the big bags around your eyes eventually. See how the things come? Gary Chapman, there you go. I'm sorry, I haven't read that book completely. I've heard good things about it. And I honestly think in doing the work I do, I tell people often just the word love has a different meaning and definition to everyone. So finding someone's love language, I think I know what path you're going with that, but it sounds like a useful book. Oh, Monica's on deck, just waking up here. Well, good morning. I've been on for 2 hours and 5 minutes right now. I know I've been off the airwaves for almost a week, maybe. This is an online test you can do. 2 hours, yes. These is an online test you can do. What do you mean the online test? What's the online test? Sorry. Enjoy watching later. Changed your picture, Monica. I can't see it very well, but it looks like you changed your picture. Cool. Have a good day or have a good evening. I'm not sure what it is for you. Ciao. Bueno. Roses and hearts. Well, isn't that kind? Happy Valentine's Day. Red roses and pink hearts. Roses are red, violets are blue. Anyone else have some closing questions? That's my last. Mac, I booked flights to Uruguay in the end. Oh, wow. Cool. Never been there, but that sounds like a cool place to go to. Shit. Okay. Thailand next year. Can't go wrong there. And I like how you're planning for next year already. Good for you. Okay, 5 love languages online test. I will check that out, Mr. Eddie Braun. And thanks for having a couple glasses of wine with me tonight. Okay, that'd be interesting, actually. So next time someone says, oh, what's your sign? When were you born? I can go, well, do you want to know my love language? That's actually a nice line, right? Well, what's your love language? Well, let's test you. That would be interesting. Good, Eddie. I'm glad that's worked for you. Hell yeah, I'm always looking for a next vacation. Good for you, hon. Sometimes you just need sometimes you need to go on, research, and book the fucking thing. I tell people that, well, I've always wanted to go here. I've always wanted to go there. And I'm like, well, make sure you do something to commit to it, right? Oh, no, Monica's ex-husband wants to get back to her. We got an emergency thing. My love language is don't be an asshole. Simple communication, Jessica. Right on. Well, that's a big thing to go through, Monica. I know you. I think you told me you had kids, so there's some other things involved there. But I know that you know what you want, and you've had some time away. So be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Wow, it's almost 6:30. Jeez. Just checking my phone really quick. In 2 hours, I've checked my phone 2 times. I've got a problem. My bottle's empty. His love language is doing. Mine is communication. Words of affirmation. Seems like we don't speak the same language. Oh, Eddie, you're a New Zealander? Oh, you're a Kiwi, huh? I got some good friends that are Kiwis. Cool, man. You guys just had your cricket. Bet you didn't think I knew about that being American, huh? Big cricket tournament. Had some big games too, right? His love language is doing. Mine is communication, words of affirmation. Seems like we don't speak the same language. Well, have you mentioned that? It's about understanding each other's language. Well, if you go into the relationship beginning it with, seems like we don't speak the same language, then you're going to make that true. Trying to figure out what I want. Well, be clear on that. Remember, things are in a moment, and remember, you got to meet each other halfway on stuff. So even though you know who he is, you know who you are, there's some things that you'll have to give in a little bit on. You'll have to meet each other halfway on. And I think with you, if you're revisiting a relationship with a ex-husband or ex-wife, you know each other pretty well. You know each other. You know that what the problems were in the past and what ended the relationship. So, well, if you have a lot of hurt in the past that you haven't got through, you have a couple options there, Monica. You guys can do couples therapy. I know that would be a weird start. Number two, you need to find a way to forgive them, because moving forward, anytime you guys have a bad moment or a misunderstanding, you're going to bring it up, and then the relationship will never be the same. Go to the relationship to give. Sounds simple, but it's true. Scott Fitzgerald's Club. Never seen you on the show before, Scotty, but welcome. Okay, he's not the therapy type. Well, I'm not telling you to do that, but if you already have these reservations in the front of the relationship, getting back together, how are you gonna address them? Can no contact work for a relationship if my ex wasn't in love with me, or has love got to be there for it to work? Thank you. I watched your videos, but never a live one. Thanks, Scott. Can no contact work for a relationship where my ex wasn't ever in love with me, or has love got to be there first? Scott, I'm going to recommend that you send your story into, I wrote this already, rightmac.com. Send your story and I'll give you a tailored response on that, because right now this is a general question. And in order to give you a really good answer, I'd have to know exactly what happened and what your feelings are. And live streams, you don't get enough text to write it all out for a reason. But my short answer, can no contact work for a relationship if an ex wasn't ever in love with me, or has love to be there for work? What do you want, Scott? So if you want to get her attention, having no contact will get her attention that you're a strong, confident individual moving forward. But I'd have to know more details to give you a really good one. That's a good topic, getting back with an ex-husband or wife after many years for live stream. Well, Monica, you have my email. For you, since you're always in live streams, go ahead and send me a little bit more data, more information, and I'll give you my take, okay? Because there's some things I realize in a live stream that you don't want to share. Okay. So, and the same thing with Scott or anyone else out there. This isn't one of those things. I think everyone knows this already, but it's not like I don't want to answer the question, but it's just a answer that's not going to answer your question, because it's not tailored to you. So it's just going to be so general. You're going to go, oh yeah, I can apply that here and here and here. It doesn't really work like that. I need to know the story, especially like with your situation, Scott. That can mean many different things. I don't get where you're going with it, but I appreciate you following the channel, and I appreciate if you want to send that in. We got 12 on deck. People are starting to wake up here, right? I'm going for a marathon. Is that what we're doing? 2 hours. I got like someone bring me some water in. Is there anything I can do those moments where I feel lonely? Get active. Honestly, it sounds simple. Go outside, walk, run, get active. Do not sit on your couch or lay down when you're feeling lonely or bored or you have the mouse wheel about your ex, get fucking active. Put your headphones in and walk around town. I've said this many times. I've told many people this. I'm sorry to repeat myself. It's just what I did, because I would get anxious and uncomfortable sitting around thinking about my ex, and I'd immediately go put my iPod in when iPods were still popular and go for a run for as long as I could if I was home, and I would just sweat it out. And I didn't even like running that much. But once I got outside, it was a lot better. So you can go for a walk, you can go for a run, you can go to the park, you can go to downtown in the city, get out of your fucking house or your apartment and get off the couch. This is not exercise for your body. This is exercise for your mind, because when you put yourself in a situation where you're outside running, walking, your brain needs to concentrate on other shit like getting hit by a car, a bird shitting on you. So your mind can't sit there and just focus on one thing over and over again. It actually has to go, oh, car coming, stop. Okay. Then you can come back to your ex and think about it. Oh, good song. Cool. Ooh, cute girl. Okay. Oh, I'm thinking about my ex. Like, you can break it up a little bit. Mac, need more coffee. Reflect is what I do. Ha ha. Damn. It sounds simple, but that would be my first answer. Get out, get active, and you don't even need to be social. You just need to get out of the fucking house when you feel that way, because it can spiral down and make you feel worse and worse and worse. It can layer. I'm 24. My ex was really into me until I've been needy. Well, she left me, but still was reaching out after we randomly met in the street, but never said yes for a date. I deleted her because she's back with her ex. Remember how amazing you are, Monica. Well, fucking, that's a nice thing to say, Eddie B. But sometimes it's just when I feel ill and there's no one there for me, kind of thing. Everyone feels lonely here and there. I got you. Find things that when that trigger comes up and you feel that way, that you can do immediately. Like I said, for me, it was throwing in headphones in my ears and going out for an immediate run and pushing myself in the run and then stopping. And is there hope? Three weeks of no contact? I don't know. Send your story in H Music. I would assume H Music, because without knowing your story, I'm just guessing. www.writemac.com. What is that from, Jesse? I'm being more careful with some of these hidden messages because YouTube's getting very strict, okay? So it's nothing personal towards you guys or offended, but I'm just not going to show them. But cool, Jesse. Wow, I never thought birds would shit on me. There's one more thing to worry about now. Actually, I've been told by other people that a bird shitting on you is good luck. I don't know. I've had it happen when I went for a run before, so that's why I was thinking about it. It's like a bird shit on me. They say, oh, that's supposed to be good luck in a lot of cultures. It's definitely not a common thing to happen. It takes some luck, I guess. Going to local social meetups has helped. I've started my own dating communication group. A lot of frustration out there in dating. Okay, cool. Remember how amazing you are too, Jessica, yourself, thinking about you. Get upset and being lonely. I'll recommend you to anyone who has a breakup. You are so kind. While out running is what I meant. Got it, Jesse. Got it. I read that late, but I see what you're saying. 10-4. I'm now loving being myself, even though I'm an extrovert. I'm an extrovert for sure. But I have introverted moments. Yeah. I definitely have my quiet time. I definitely have my alone time. When you mentioned you was running, taking your mind off things during a breakup, etc., I got you. If bird shitting on me is good luck, I better go find a pet store back soon. It's like, you know what? When a bird shits on you, though, think about this. You're in a really good place when you can laugh about it and tell your friends. You're in a really good place. If you come back, oh, God, a bird shit on me. It's just by chance. The bird didn't mean to do it. It's like, whatever, You come back and you make a joke about it. You're in a good place, right? It's a good test. Running is so good. I'm going to get back into it, actually. I tell people this all the time. For years, I used to run and jog, and I didn't measure it or anything like that. I wasn't like a 10K runner or marathon runner. Just recently now, I go for walks on the beach more rather than – I heard stepping on dog shit is good luck. Come on. That's a little more in your control, I think. But actually, I heard it's good luck only if you step in it barefoot. Try it out. No, seriously? I'm joking. Yeah. I mean, we can make anything lucky, right? It's like, how do you win the lottery? Everyone has lottery in their country, I think, but because we have different countries here. How do you win the lottery? Everyone, oh yeah, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. Still got to fucking play. You still got to buy the ticket. The people I know that have won the lottery before, I've known a couple. Not that they won the like big jackpot, but someone I know that won $1 million. And the crazy thing is, they won twice. One time $1 million and one time like 100 grand or something. You know what? They play all the time. They buy the ticket all the time. I'm French. Sorry at the terrible state of my English abilities. Fuck, that sentence right there has nothing terrible about it in English. So I don't have a problem with your English abilities. The question that you asked, I'm going to go back to it really quick. My ex was really into me until I've been needy. She left me, but still was reaching out after we randomly met in the street, but never said yes for a date. How is that an ex? She left me, but was still reaching out to me after we randomly met in the street, but never said yes for a date. I deleted her because she's back with her ex. Well, I mean, is there hope? 3 weeks, no contact. Do you want to be with someone that's back with their ex and denied you a date when they saw you in the street? You're 24 years old. You're in one of the best times of your life. You're in France. It's a romantic place. At this point, no contact's your best feature. And if she comes back, it's a bonus. And hopefully you're in the driver's seat and you're like, do I want to get back together or do I not? But you can't fixate. If someone's with their ex, that's clarity for you to move forward, man. And even if she got back with you, she'd have to break up with her ex and get back with you. And you'd have insecurities by the fact that she's already been with someone in between you. So at this point, stay in no contact. Get rid of the idea of hope of getting back together. Try to shed that skin, that snake skin that you're wearing right now, and tell yourself, I'm going to go into no contact for myself. I'm 24 years old. I'm a calm, confident individual that has a lot going for myself, and this woman doesn't define me. Sweet. You got back into running, Mac, when I was in a low. Felt so good. Music on, walking on the beach, tipping feet in the water. Yeah. Life's good. Yeah. Get out in nature. I agree. And the thing is, it sounds simple because it is. When do you know there's too much water under the bridge to get back with someone? Well, whatever's too much water for you and what's too much water for me would be different. That the idea that you're making that a question tells me that you already know the answer. That you feel like there's too much water, that you're not going to be able to get over some of the things in the past, and you're going to constantly be going back to past items to judge this individual. And that's what's hard with getting back with an ex. If you can't erase the past, the minute something comes up that reflects the past, it sparks, puts you back in that position. Plus, especially if you're a past-oriented person, it sounds like you are a little bit. For people who are in your 20s, you guys have the world at your feet. Just get out there. Just get out there. Yeah, I mean, at 24, I know where you're getting at. You're only 3 weeks into no contact. I get it. But at some point, if someone's with someone, to me, a lot of people tell me sometimes, they're like, I wish I just knew there was someone else and that would be the end for me. Then I would know we were done, Chasing or hoping to have someone back that's already pivoted into a new relationship, no bueno. Wow, we're going on 2.5 hours here, a little marathon thing. I got to get a little tip jar, huh? Thinking about doing that Patreon. I don't know how good that is. We've had a lull. quiet. When you are in your 20s, everything is magnified. I guess so, because you haven't seen it or done it yet, probably, Monica. Even short relationships. When you look back and you've been through it a few times, I guess it's not as magnified, but I've certainly been with people that are older that have been stung by relationships pretty hard. I'm way cooler than I was in my 20s. Good for you. I'm in my 40s now. Ask the old lady. You're not old. 40's not old. Come on. I'm almost 40. Shit. And I don't feel old at all. Looking better than you looked in your 20s? Good for you. Good for you. That's a great statement to make. Started out with the topic of, wow, I lost the top. Fastest way to get your ex back. And we went all over the place here. I always just start with a statement to get things cooking here. But we were cooking with some grease today, huh? This will always prolong it, right, Jessica? Any closing questions as I'm ready to go out the door here? 10 people on deck. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everyone that's joined the live stream today. Eddie's made a appearance for the first time and has contributed well off a bottle of Cab. Mr. Scott Fitzgerald. No, it was the fastest way to get your ex back. And it was a bit of a trick question, Monica. So really quick, it was more of a joke in some ways, but I said that, number one, get your ex jealous. So these aren't actually healthy or good ways to get your ex back. They're just the fastest way to get your ex back. So I said, get your ex jealous, use social media as a weapon. Okay. What was the other one? Join a cruise ship and work on it. Join the military. Those are the fastest ways to get over your ex. But they also would probably get your ex's attention really quick if you were going to move away. Fastest way to, yeah. Well, I'll let you review it in the front because I wrote the answers to it and talked about it briefly. It was one of those topics that's kind of a fun topic. And again, we went all over the place in different places and got off topic. Traveling is quickest, yeah. Mm-hmm. The interesting thing, though, the fastest way to get your ex back and the fastest way to get over your ex might be similar. Because that's when you really make them think you're done, right? I've talked about this in other live streams. I've lived in different cities before. And a couple of times when I moved or someone else moved, they immediately called me and basically let me know that they were more into me than I thought, because that's when it gets real. Would you ever accept friendship from a girl you like, or would you stand firm with no contact? This is more of a general question. Okay. Yeah. Some people are against this. If I liked a girl, I'm a friendly person by nature. When I go out places and jobs I've had, I'm very friendly anyways. So for me to be friendly with someone I just like, I mean, when you say like, I would need to know the definition. I'm sorry to nitpick at this, but to give you a good answer, when I say like I'm attracted to them in some ways, yeah, I could be friends with them. And then maybe I could see if we both have some attraction, but I wouldn't be being friends with them with the sole intention of hooking up. That would maybe be a bonus. But other people are like, hell no. If I was attracted to her, would you ever yeah, I would be fine. I have friends that I'm attracted to now, so that are women. It's just, if you're looking at the friendship as a means to an end to get with them, then no. If you can be friends without expectations of hooking up, then that's what a friend is. If you guys somehow down the road got intimate or got closer by chance or by, just by bonus without your intention, it was just organic, then that would be the way to do it. So for me, I think if I was attracted to a woman, the part that gets me is, would you ever accept friendship? I would just be friends. So it wouldn't be like, I don't know. The only reason I would no contact a friend is if we had a problem prior to or an issue. If you're really attracted to them and you don't see them as a friend at all, then no. For me, I could be attracted to a woman and be friends with her just fine, with the idea that me and her wouldn't be a good match. With the idea of maybe down the road, we can, if our stars line up and, I'm single at that time or she's single at that time, or, we go out to eat and it's fine with no expectation. The key to it is not having any expectation. If you go into the friendship with an expectation of possibly or hoping would be the worst. Oh, I'll be friends and then I hope you can hook up down the road. She'll smell that out about you, I think. And if that's the case, certainly could work for you, but most of the time it probably wouldn't. It would look like a weak attempt, and it would be thought of as being tricky, a little coyote. So, but what I would say is, if you were friends with her, or, I wouldn't have an intense friendship. I would have a playful friendship, if that makes sense. Or I'd still flirt. Wouldn't be over the top, but I would be able to play and joke around in a way that's kind of fun, rather than we're just friends. I know you think I like you. I wouldn't make it odd like that. Sorry to go all over the place with that, but there's a lot of different ways you can go with that. I wouldn't have a cut and dry rule. It'd be a case by case situation. But for the most part, short answer, can I be friends with a girl I'm attracted to? Yes. For me, yes. Because I know I wouldn't, if she didn't like me or she wasn't attracted to me, I would still be okay with being friends. I wouldn't take it personal. I like I said, I have plenty of friends that I'm attracted to that are women, for sure. Any closing questions here? We got 2.5 hours. I need to go eat. It is 6:45 p.m. This was great. I really appreciate you guys today. Loved your answer, Coach. It was a short but intense relationship, like 2 months. My question, I deleted her from every social media, but never clearly said I didn't want a friendship. Is it a problem? Well, leaving it that way was actually probably a good thing, because if she's wondering, then she might have to reconnect with you. If it was short and intense and you didn't have a lot of problems, that's kind of a good place to end. If you deleted her from every social media, you did it for a reason, because you were still connected to her and you still probably wanted a relationship and she didn't. So if you've already done that, you don't need to go back and say, hey, we could still be friends. That'd be weak and needy. Just leave it as it is, move on, keep your head up high, and be thankful and think to yourself, wow, I had a really good, intense relationship with someone I was attracted to. That can happen again. And the fact that you cut off social media and just left it alone leaves a little bit of mystery, and that's probably in your favor. That's like the last one, except I didn't delete him. 2 intense, really good months. Well, you're in a different situation, and you can do that either. Like I said, now you're in a position where you can continue to be casual friends with benefits. You can cut off ties, or you can leave the door open. You got a lot of different options there. And you can see other people, plan other trips, do other things. Whenever you're in a 2-month relationship, I know this sounds simple, but it's easier to get over someone that you've only been together for 2 months. If it was intense, it's great. Thanks, bud. Love you too. Little two cheek kiss, as you guys do in France. Yeah, we're having a drink next week. Hopefully he already agreed. I told him to let me know. Well, in between that time, have a drink with someone else too, maybe. Go keep doing your thing, Jessica. Really? On the mouth? I didn't know that. Ooh. Well, you'll be the DJ, huh? Where would you have 3 kisses if you had 2 on the cheek? You have one cheek, one cheek. French people kiss on the cheek. I know I've already mentioned that my one of my grandmothers is from Spain, but my great grandmother's from France. So we had relatives come over from Nice, and the men would always kiss on the cheek. And when I was a kid, I'd be like, ugh, we don't do that. But where would you do 3? Like one here, and one on the chin? H. Mizik, are you still out there, buddy? The Frenchman? One cheek gets 2 kisses. You do one, the other one, and back to the first one. Wow. I'd be off rhythm. I prefer the 5. What's the song in France that you go chin man chin, chun chin, chin chin chin, chun chin chin? You hold each other's chin. When I was a kid, my grandmother used to always do that, and if you smile, they'd smack you. Do you know that game? Chun man chin, chun man chin. I don't know what it is. Maybe you know it in Belgium, Jessica. You hold the chin and you do the song. I'll have to figure that. I'll have to ask my mom. I'm getting random text messages. Okay, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out for the next one. I'll figure it out. I'll have to ask my mom. I've heard French people do it too. I'm getting random text messages from my spinning plates Friday night, and I'm spending the evening with all of you, my friend. Fucking outstanding, Eddie. I'm really glad you came on. You got a great fucking energy about you, dude. And you're a Kiwi. That's one country that would be like on my top 5 places to go, just because of the people and I like islands. It looks beautiful, man. I'll have to figure out that song. It's the song where each person holds each other's chin. Doormate? No, I'll figure it out. That's gonna bug me now. I don't know why that came to light. Doesn't have anything to do with breakups or relationships. Sorry, bud. All right, folks. We can go on all night here. Always welcome, Mac. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words too. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out what the song is. Bring some red wine. I have never drank on a live stream or on camera. Yeah, that's the fucking song. I wish we could hear sound. Yeah, and you'd hold the chin. And each person holds the chin. Maybe my grandma made up that rule. If you smile, you get slapped. It wasn't like a hard slap, but as soon as you smile, then you get hit. So, yeah, I think that's the song for sure. Ten parla bro. Yeah. Never learned French. Yeah, grandma was came over in her 30s, so she had a thick accent. If I get to slap someone I want to play, you can't smile. I don't know if that's the real game. Like if you have to hold the smile, I'm not sure. So a little French knowledge, right? A little French knowledge. All right, folks, I'm gonna call it a night, and I'm gonna say thank you kindly. This has been a lot of fun, and I really appreciate everyone out there and supporting the channel. And I hope to see you in the next live stream. Eddie, Jessica, you closed it out well. H. Mizik. And Monica, glad to hear you're doing well. Jesse Chapman, Scotty Fitzgerald, Sabina, much appreciated. Great tribe. See ya.